This ThatUmbrellaGuy.
Hey, we love that umbrella guy. Hey, we love that umbrella guy. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
One thing to rule them all, one thing to bind them. Platinum realized out, you know where to find him.
Stomping the floppy shoes so hard, it'll lead to clutch delirious. You praying to stop so much, it's like you're having a religious experience. Despite all of your denials, I know that you know me. And your crew asked your girl the last time she phoned me. Allegedly, just admit that even now you sing along. And even after I wreck you, you gotta bump my song. You should copyright loser because the dictionary cloned you. Crushed so hard, now my cleats own you. It's that umbrella guy, clutching the verbal hammer, locking you down in this inescapable syllable slammer. You wanna step up and try to oppose me? Yeah, you should ask anyone that really knows me. I'll take your blame, your girl, your dog, and move in your home, only to get out the verbal flamethrower and consume your plastic gnomes. You drift, you whip, you ride, your bride consumed by this mic hitter, just to drop them on the market to the highest bidder. It's that umbrella guy, live from the hat rack, with elbows that hit so hard you'll think it's a nuclear impact. I mean respecting you, please, that's the word you'll never earn. Yet another lesson you clowns have never learned. Along with standing tall and pride and repping values that you feel, and not fake morals you found inside your happy meal. I listen to you with your speaking spell education, wondering if your parents bred with their relations. Wearing your big red nose and still thinking that you're a star, while you're forced to bump that umbrella guy inside your clown car. Yeah, it's that umbrella guy, broadcasting live to the masses. Timing out full, sorry we ran out of free passes. We gotta go further and not just expose you. Listen and believe royalty, we gotta depose you. Getting masked up because this flow is criminal. Dropping hammers so hard, they're subliminal. Unconsciously you want me to own you, as the parasol pope is set to dethrone you. And I'm out.
All right. What's up, folks? How's it going? Let me adjust my volume, actually. It is low. It was very low. I was like, wait a minute. That seemed like 7 years ago. There we are. Now we are back, baby. We are back, man. Yesterday was such a weird ride. Oh, man. Some days. That was weird to have happen in, like, the middle of a live stream, by the way. Just all of a sudden, what? Gone. Gone. If you were here yesterday, yeah, it was quite the treat. It was quite the treat. And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the, quote-unquote, settlement discussion. Interestingly, I'm trying to see something here. Oh, he added to that 3 hours ago. That's funny. See, it's so funny to look in and say, well, I'm actually gonna look at this and cover it and think, wow, there's more added to it. Fun times, right? Now, one of the things I want to be clear about today, too, I cannot say with certainty anyone, I can't say these people went after a channel. I cannot say that. So I'm not blaming anyone specific. That's the ugliness sometimes, right? Unless they're celebrating, you know, you can kind of say, well, but again, it was fascinating, however, that during the middle of our stream last night. We were covering we were actually covering something that many other people had watched too, you know? Like, it's not like it was something that nobody had seen or anything, some breaking news or anything, but right in the middle of it, bam, gone. Now, what was weird about it, at first I thought, that can't be a hit for something. I haven't had an email come in yet. Nobody else had an email come in yet. And then, I thought, man, maybe it's a power outage. But then I tried to get back in, and I couldn't. Someone had, it looked like what someone did is they put in an arbitrary claim to just something random in a stream. I'm not going to detail that too much because I don't want to be like, here's how you fuck someone over. But when they did that, they tried striking part of the stream too. Now, that didn't hang around very long. If you'll notice, within 2 hours, that stream, if you were around, you'll notice it came back up. But after it, I still couldn't get back in. I was still stuck out. It came up, went away, came back up, and then I privated it. I was like, fuck this. You never delete it. Here's the thing, too. You never delete a stream. I had this happen one time before, and it's the craziest thing. YouTube tells you if you delete an item after it's been struck or something, you can't appeal, right? Okay, well, that's afterwards, right? Well, apparently, I found this out last year, actually. You can be struck for a stream that has been deleted already. They can come in, they can strike you for it, and then they're like, well, no way of appealing. I've actually had that happen in the past, and that wasn't fun. So I don't delete anything, but I will private them. So if something like just disappears totally, that's somebody hitting something. And I couldn't do anything last night at all. Like I said, I can't say who did it, but I did find it very interesting what we were covering. So I'm going to say the only positive that came out of it, we had some volume trouble with the video we were covering. So I did go in and boost the volume of it. So we'll see if they try it again tonight. And if they do, well, we know exactly who's doing it. Fuck them. We're going to talk about a couple of other things too on there. Hey, by the way, Marcus King, thank you for the month there. You and Megan have become my favorite streams. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I have fun. I have fun with Megan on. We feed off each other. In fact, she covered something today. She did a video and mentioned to me, hey, we should bring this subject up. So I'm going to play her video today with permission. Usually I don't play people's videos, but I think that's an important one today. And also, Fallen Hero, thank you for the gifted membership. Appreciate that. If you'd like to support the channel, by the way. Yeah, since we lost yesterday. Now, anything that came in before that, of course. I hope I had everyone caught up. I don't know if I did. If I didn't, that wasn't my fault. I apologize. But like I said, some people don't like our product. So if you like our product, well, back the channel and love us. There's a few things. Like, for example, the settlement talk. Now, the settlement talk's been an interesting thing that was brought up in the Twitter realms, and apparently now that's not his or Laura's choice anymore. That's they have to do it. They have to. But check this out. I love that they add to this. So here's the discussion. Here's how it starts out. It's like, "Hi, David." They're nice. I'm not going to be mean about it. I was like, what am I going to say here? I'll be nice about it. It's not my statement there. "Hi, David. Hope you had a nice weekend. I was just wondering if the possibility of settlement conference with stipulations either way, sealing with an uncontested public statement, for example, has been discussed in any way, shape or form, really, I would say, by either party, if it's even possible." Yes, you do have conferences, by the way. You do indeed. Now, the thing is, it is, Clayton has said what he was willing to do with that. He gave a, you just admit what you did, and then that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen at all. It looks like we're going to do the long way. But Gingrich responded and said, I'm actually in the process of trying to set up a meeting to discuss settlement. Interesting. Now, the court ordered us to do a meet to face, so I just need to clear one scheduling issue, and then I'll extend the offer to meet tomorrow. Going to be hard to find common ground, unfortunately. Yeah, it's real hard to find common ground here. You know, when somebody wants the other person not to be able to speak at all, wants, 3 other people not to be able to speak, wants to maintain the protective order that, well, is very questionable, doesn't want to address the sonogram issue that came up, nothing. Yeah, it's going to be real difficult to find that common ground there, because she essentially wants to be able to say case dismissed. That's what she wants. She wants him to walk away. And like I said, I personally, again, I'm basing this just off my opinion, but I think that Gingrich's tactic about being just an ass through and through, I think that the whole point in being that way was to force that. I think the tactics you've seen employed, it's it's bull in the china shop. It's not going out, and it's not tactful. It's not actually trying to approach anything in any decent way whatsoever. Clayton's case is his own too. I'm going to give my opinion on what I think about that, but ultimately, it's like any case. I'm not the one in it, okay? So whatever a person decides to do, that's their business. Having said that, I don't think he should ever settle. I think the truth needs to win out because his reputation depends on it. This person tried to ruin him. They tried to ruin him. And you have to wonder, we've discussed, I don't even understand the end game here. I don't get it. If you're talking about taking a person in to the courtroom, doing all of this, of course, you could try to get a dating contract. But after you're in court, I mean, you do have a potential way out. But I mean, what was the point? To get a protective order? To pay back somebody that wouldn't date you? I mean, again, that's open to speculation. I don't know. We'll see how things play out. We'll see exactly what comes up, and we'll get a better judge of that. But somebody asks, like, why? Why? Let all the evidence come out in court. Hell to the yeah. Let everything come up. It's interesting. They keep promising us all this evidence, all this stuff that's supposed to happen. And we haven't seen anything so far. So unless they're setting on some absolute bombshell, like, my mind isn't going to change on that. Like, from what I've seen so far, I don't see, unless, like I said, there's some hidden sonogram that for some fucked up reason you wouldn't show to save your reputation, but hey, you'd show everything else. Unless there's something like that you could make just poof out of the clouds. Unless you got an OBGYN that's not an expert or paid witness, but that actually treated. That stuff. What's up, Sherry? By the way, thanks for the 10 there. Always here for you. Thank you. Groupie Cash Train. Got to laugh at the haters and those who want silence. Indeed. You just roll with it. If it's really bad, like if it's strikes that I can't do something about, I'll make a lot of noise about it, because I need help. But otherwise, it's part of things. It is, unfortunately. I've learned that over the years. The hit pieces, the craziness that you take on, like that's a strange part of this. but it very much is a part of this. Now, I have to say that I have never had a lawyer act like this guy. Ever had somebody act what I would say is so unprofessional. It's just fucking crazy, you know? And like want to silence everyone that doesn't go along with their narrative. I mean, it's just wild. Like I said, I've never seen anything like that. And I've seen people try to shut you down before, but the type of threats and stuff are crazy. I'm gonna leave you destitute. I'm gonna leave you homeless. You know, there goes the Neal family. I mean, again, I've never seen anything that chaotic. You know, ever. But don't you think Laura deserves her day in court? Why on earth would you think of settling if Clayton and the world made a mockery of her pregnancy? And their answer, this came up just a few hours ago, so this is actually a new add-on. Discussing settlement is not my choice or Laura's. The court issued an order on 2/21/2024 that required the parties to have an in-person meeting to discuss quote-unquote resolution. Compliance is not optional. 100% normal happens in every case. It's fascinating, you know, it's fascinating the way things are presented in snippets. Like Dave Neal brought up the beginning, which, you know, that was all that was there early on today. And then a few hours later, it's like, no. We don't want that. Well, Clayton doesn't want that, as far as I know. As far as I've seen, he seems to be in it for the long haul, and his lawyer is too. I think, in fact, if they would have been more diplomatic, maybe it could have been a little bit different. But hey, you know, if wishes were horses, right, we'd all be up to our ankles in. I mean, wait, we'd all be riding. That's what I meant. If wishes were horses, and my dad was a multimillionaire, I too could train horses like Laura, right? Wait, that's not the point. My bad. Bethany, thank you, welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to Tugs Thugs, by the way. Appreciate you. Thank you. Came out Red Queen. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to Tugs Thugs, too. Appreciate that. And T for 2. Thanks for the month there. Justice for Clayton, JFC. Never knew that that's what they meant all those times until. Now there have been I do kind of miss not going through that blog that he put up. I will hit that this week. I expect there to be a lot of stuff, but let's hit that video from Megan today. She told me we should definitely check it out and talk about this. Give me 1 second. I gotta set her up real fast. I fixed the volume on that court thing too. I actually went in and I spiked the volume on it myself. I was like, forget anything, you know, because apparently some people got butthurt. Maybe going over that again. What else did we cover yesterday, right? So I have trouble not covering that tonight. So I did fix the sound on that, you know. So friends, thank you, welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to Tugs Thugs. Thank you. Love it. Thank you. Marina, thank you for the month there. Glad I caught it live. Enjoy your channel. Thank you. I appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. I'm glad people can catch those too. And also, Rio Baby, thanks for the 20 months. Have you talked to Megan about the watermark and Fiverr logo that is written in the middle of the sonogram? Yeah, we did a live stream on that. That was wild, you know? Yeah, the whole watermark thing. And actually, you know, so over the weekend, if you missed out on it, you know, there was a discussion of proof. Because in one of the filings, Laura decided that she would point the finger at others and say, I didn't send that stuff, you know, that wasn't me at all. So, I mean, if that's the case, people should know that, right? I would want to know that for sure, wouldn't you? I mean, honestly, like to be totally honest, if some of this crazy shit that has been claimed here had even an iota of, of truth to it. Wouldn't you want to know that? I think Dave would, Megan would, everyone would. So those files actually, there's a certain computer that had those. And well, let's just say money was raised to find out about it. And man, that'll be a fun discussion over that. Let me tell you, that'll be a fun one. By the way, I think that's important too, because the threats of litigation, it boils down to that as well. It boils down to what can or can't be proved. Carrie, thanks for the $2 super sticker. Appreciate that too. I saw it come in. Thank you. Risa, thank you for the 2. Okay, I got here late. So what happened to the video? Well, like I said, yesterday, we're in a live stream. Bamf. You saw, if you were here yesterday, you saw what happened. We were in the middle of coverage and I disappeared. Not only did I disappear, but StreamYard, okay, when you get struck, what happens is this. You can't connect to YouTube in any way, shape, or form. Now, typically, you'll get a strike warning with it. Because you can get a few kinds of claims. You can get a copyright claim, but here's the thing. If it was a copyright claim, I could have just started the stream over again. I could have just popped in and bam. So, if it's just a pure copyright claim, then. The thing was, though, that, and again, that can be a mess up in the YouTube system, but typically what it is somebody saying something there is mine, therefore. Now, I don't deal with problems like that on my thing. I pay someone to do that because I wouldn't be able to operate a channel like I do otherwise. So that got resolved, let's say, fairly quickly, like within a couple of hours. Because you notice the stream came back that was up there, but I couldn't enter YouTube. So that is a strike component to it, which means that either A, somebody hit me for, sometimes what people will do is they'll try to hit you. They'll try to claim something and try to, claim that you're espousing hate or something. But again, I didn't get a warning for it. It wasn't anything. I just couldn't do anything, which is crazy. Just a minute. Hey, what you doing, kiddo? Popcorn. Oh, yeah. Well, we'll make popcorn later. We're not going to have popcorn yet. Okay? No, I can't make popcorn right this minute, baby. Here. You want this, though? Huh? Yeah. She got a Squid Game head, she likes it's a popcorn bucket. They had them at Walmart for they were on clearance. It's a red light, green light head. And she's like, it does red light, green light. Yeah. I was like, yeah. I love you. Thankfully, it doesn't do anything else, like the show.
Like shoot you?
Yes, that's what I was telling you before in the show.
And don't make you do Squid Game things.
That's right. Yeah, it doesn't make you do Squid Game. Exactly. Here, go upstairs for a little while, okay?
Play this Squid Game. Baby, come in my room.
Okay, we'll go play. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Now I want cheese sticks.
We'll go grab a couple of cheese sticks then. Bring them to me. Okay. So anyway, the video came up. It came back resolved, but it wasn't resolved. Then it went down, came back up. Now it's available, and I private anything that comes up like that. So here's the problem with YouTube. You don't necessarily know who did it. Like copyright claims and stuff, you'll get an add-on, but this, from the way I understood it, it was at first I thought the way I understood it was a just pure copyright claim, but it looked like it came in like a strike, and then somebody was claiming their material too. I don't know. Like I said, it's the weirdest thing because I got it resolved pretty quickly. And if it was just a copyright claim, if somebody came in, number one, I'd have an address to truly go in and check. So I thought at first that's what was happening. I thought I actually had an email. I was like, ha, 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 that's a screw up because I can track that back, and try to find out who that belongs to. That'd be great. Then no matter what, even if it's a fake one, good to go. But that's not the way it worked. It was just somebody trying to flag something down and writing in, I guess, that, again, I don't deal with that issue. Like, I have to, if you cover specific types of material, you employ an MCN to do it. You have to pay them to do it. I learned that they can make sure, because what happens otherwise, like if I get struck and I go in and I try to dispute. I was looking for the right word. I try to dispute something. I get an entry-level worker at YouTube, and most of the times they'll just be like, denied. Well, what the MCN can do is talk to somebody that actually has some authority. And we weren't breaking any rules. We were going over something that was public. So, like I say, I can't attribute it, but it's kind of fascinating. What were we covering? So again, if I can get to where I can point that finger, you better believe it. That's why, like, in the time, I was like, someone. I didn't say who. But again, what are we covering? What are we talking about here? So again, I don't know. It could be, typically I would think, too, I wouldn't think beyond butthurt supporters most of the time. But who's supporting this person? You know what I'm saying? Anyway. So... oh, it's just a mess. Yesterday was a mess because, like I said, in the middle of a stream, bam, out like a light, man. And you won't be able to sign into the same stream if you got hit by copyright claims. But
I get a new belt. Can I get a new belt?
yeah, oh yeah. So she's excited too. So she found out she does karate. Both of the girls do karate. And she found out today. What did you find out, little one?
I get a new belt.
That's right. She loves the color yellow. So she's a white belt. Has a beginner belt. And today, she found out that she's getting promoted to a yellow belt. And she's excited because she loves yellow. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did it. We went out cheese sticks.
Okay, that's fine. We'll have to get some more. Here.
And we have to get more.
Yeah, we will. But congratulations.
More
Give me five.
pizza bites.
Pizza bites. I know. I gotta shop. I've been lagging, huh? Yeah. I heard you. All right, go upstairs. Love you. Go play with your red light, green light head.
Can you play on my bed?
Yeah, you can play it on your bed. Go. Yeah. Love you. Neil Blue, thanks for the 5. Had to cancel my birthday due to cancer. Can't get my money back. Wow, that sucks, man. So no final holiday for me and my youngest tug. So can't money for that. God, that's horrible. That's horrible. You hang out, you're loved here. You are loved here. You're supportive. Seriously. Love to all of you. That's one of the things I love about streams. We can get together, and no matter if I have something going on in my life, or I'm just having an off day, anything, there's support and love. And you have the same thing here. So much love to you. Cindy, thanks for the 5 there. 137 or so in the hearing. The judge says, Ella contacted him outside of the hearing and puts hands over his hands too. It's hilarious. We'll have to, we'll hit that one. We're going to hit this video in a second, then we'll do that. And Dawn, thanks for the 5 there. We need to see her in court. Let the truth be shown. And for the lies she told and lives wrecked, justice for all those affected by the poison witch. And we need to see what happens. I agree. I think personally, but again, I say that with the caveat that this is ultimately Clayton's life. So if he wanted something different in this, if he did settle, which I do not think would be a wise choice because it allows her to continue to, I mean, she's threatened these people to sue them all and everything, and us too, but him, I want to sue him and all that. So, of course, he needs this to be resolved a certain way. You know. Okay, take it upstairs.
I'm hiding.
Wear it upstairs.
I'm hiding in my popcorn bucket.
Hide in your popcorn bucket. And 2 more. Wendy, thanks for the 2 months there. Hey, Tug. Laura Owens is absolutely ridiculous. I think she has gone so far down the rabbit hole that she's stuck. She's stuck now. She is, I think so. Hashtag Pond Scum Posse. Yes, I think she's stuck in the tale that she told, for sure. And K-Rab, thanks for the 5 there. Congrats to Bug. Awesome. Now let's look at this video. I think this is an important message from Megan. So check this out.
Hey guys, my name is Megan Fox and I'm an investigative journalist, and today I have a very serious request. I don't usually do this, but today it's very important that we put out a call for any witnesses or survivors of the con that Laura Owens has been pulling over many years, involving faked pregnancies, possibly faked cancers, using litigation, using threats, using all kinds of things. We have witnesses that say that's what's happening to them. And I know there are more of you out there. Friday is the deadline for disclosure in the Clayton Echard case. And I know that some of you haven't come forward because you have an immense amount of guilt. You feel that you should have said something sooner. You're afraid that if you come forward, your name will be dragged through the mud. You're afraid that you will be criticized for the way that you responded to this con, perhaps. Maybe there are some text messages that aren't very flat.
Now, there was someone that actually stepped up after this and said, you know what, they would back big time for anybody that, you know, that decided that they were going to step up, that they needed to. And again, you know, here's the thing. Your response in this, I mean, this person, when someone is, excuse my words, but when somebody is offering you fuckery and they're trying to ruin you, it annoys the crap out of me that you're supposed to respond to that with nicety. Oh, may I have another helping, ma'am? No. No. You know, and that's the thing with this. So don't feel like that. Don't feel like that. But somebody said that they would offer a huge helping hand with that. If somebody is afraid that coming forward might have some kind of ramification. So welcome to the cigar club. I like that. I think that's good. Yeah, roll it up like a boss there. I love it, though. I love the fact that there are people out there, so many of you, that if something negative happens like that and somebody needs support, that you'll support them. So props to you. But
flattering to you when you were dealing with this mess. But I just want to say,
if you want to feel your energy
look
levels
at that. That is the
skyrocket,
worst.
you've got to try out this Organ
That's not
Complex
Megan,
by
by the
Paleo
way.
Valley.
They'll probably put 2 in
from
there.
the
My
bottom
bad.
of my heart and everybody else out there paying attention to this case, we will believe you. We will not judge you.
Oh my goodness.
And we understand why you may have been angry when you were going through this. So if there is anybody out there who has information about Laura Owens and her repeated pattern of behavior, please act now.
Indeed.
Send me a message. I will clear my schedule today. I will not be going live. I am going to be waiting for your call. Please give me an email. I will set up a call and we will talk, and I will connect you with Clayton's team.
I think this is important, again, too, because this is time sensitive. And I realize when I'm saying that. I'm saying that with the utmost concern. This is your moment that you can actually perhaps put the past to bed and make sure that this doesn't happen to anyone else. There are people out there that that's happened to, for sure. Because we're talking about a trial that is coming very, very soon. 1 month and change away. So, I mean, really, if there are people out there, you know, we know that there's at least one person, I don't think that's wanted to speak, you know, with that initial person, Matt. Now his name's out there. I hope he changes his mind. I understand why, too. I'm not trying to be nasty toward him in any way, shape, or form. It's a terrible situation people have been put in. But if a person has done this multiple, they'll never stop otherwise. So, I mean, again, I think this is important. So anyway, let it play.
Here is my email. Please reach out to me immediately, as soon as possible, because time is ticking. This may be the last opportunity that anybody has to hold Laura Owens accountable in a court of law. And there may not be another opportunity, because the people involved, I think, you know, pretty much everybody's out of money. Everybody is out of resources in order to hold her accountable. I don't have much hope that there will be civil suits after this. I don't have much hope that anything else will happen. So the case in which there is a chance to do something is right now in Owens versus Echard. And you have until Friday to introduce new witnesses in this case. So if there are any other witnesses out there, family members of victims, sisters, brothers, parents, victims themselves. If you have been a victim of Laura Owens, if you have been scammed by her, reach out to me now. Reach out to me now. Let's get your story told. And not for my sake, not for my channel.
I'm going to say, too, with that, if you're thinking, man, that won't help. It has helped. We've actually seen this happen in cases. Again, high profile, it's the second anniversary of it. In the Depp Heard, we saw people come forward and fill in the gaps to part of what happened. We saw the gap with TMZ. What happened with that? We saw the campground. You know, we had people that they spoke up. And they took a lot. They did take a lot of flack about it, and that's the one thing in this that's different, in my opinion. You're not gonna. You may have to. You may be looking at the same people that you've always had the potential issue with Laura, but besides that, you don't have this groundswell of crazies backing like, say, an Amber Heard did. So it is different in that. But I'm gonna let this play here too.
Not for any of that, but for justice. For justice. There may not be another opportunity to get justice. And if you ever had a moment of guilt where you thought, you know, you're watching this other guy go through the same thing that you went through, and you're thinking, maybe I could have stopped it. You couldn't have stopped it. You didn't stop it, and that's okay. But you can stop it now. You can come forward now and be the final nail in that coffin. And you know what? The truth will set you free. All of those feelings of guilt and shame will be lifted off your shoulders at that moment when you step forward and say, this happened to me too. I have evidence to prove it. Let's go. Let's go, boys. Now is your time. We're all here. We're waiting for you, and we will believe you. We believe the victims in this case.
Well, the people, what's really sad about that is the feeling of shame that you have from a lot of people with this. And like I said, I think it's important if people want justice. And I understand that this would be a difficult situation for anybody. I get it. I very well get it. I do. I'm going to let the rest just play. Okay? I won't interrupt yet. I'll speak at the end of it too.
They have given us nothing but evidence that this happened to them. And I know there's more of you out there. I know that.
Here's why I stopped shopping on Amazon, and you should too. Don't spend another dime on Amazon until you watch this first. Watch this. I can show you how to get the sweetest deals.
No, it's bad. Like I said, they seed in 3 usually, maybe 2 in the middle. Like I have to I have to clock them out. And usually, I've gotten it down to 1 usually in videos. But I'm like, they're so inopportune. And, you know, what's bad is YouTube does that. Even if this was a demonetized, I don't know if it was or not, but even if it was, it's still going to have momentum, just like live streams do. It's craziness. Anyway, I'm going to let it play all the way. That interrupted. I know I said I was going to do that before, but that commercial was not my fault.
Sitting here ready and waiting to take your call, to talk to you about it, and just assure you that we support you, that we're here for you, and that nothing you could say is going to make us think less of you or be upset with you for not coming forward sooner. We understand. I know I totally understand that it's difficult to come forward when something like this has happened to you. And we see with men especially that they feel very shamed for being conned by a woman and for being used like that. And it's a really hard thing to do. It's a hard thing to do. But I will protect you. I will protect you. I will put you in touch with the people you need to be in touch with so that you can help bring justice in this case. We only have until this Friday. Let's not wait another day. Let's do it today, right now. I'm here. Please contact me. Because this man did nothing wrong other than accept the advances of a woman who was interested in him. And this man did nothing wrong except try to date a woman. And this man did nothing wrong, and his life was turned upside down and destroyed. You haven't done anything wrong. If you reacted in anger, if you reacted in frustration, everybody gets it. And here's a great example of that. During the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial, a text message was brought into the case from Johnny between him and his friend Paul, I think. And in it, Johnny was making jokes about, let's drown her first before we burn her to make sure she's dead. And of course, we all know now that we knew at the time when we heard it that it was a Monty Python joke. He was basically calling her a witch. But everybody was like, oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. I don't see it that way. I don't see it as terrible. I see that a man was abused for years. Abused mentally, physically, emotionally. His only outlet, it wasn't to use his fists. He never hit her. His only outlet was to tell his friends how upset he was by making jokes about her drowning the witch. We get it. Nobody's gonna judge you for saying mean things to someone who was abusing you, who was mentally torturing you. We're okay with it. All right. That's my mom talk for the day.
I muted myself so I wouldn't speak. I was like, wait a minute, I can unmute now. So I think that's an important message. Very much so. Not just because of the case, but again, there are people out there that can and have filled in the blanks for some of this stuff. But I think one of the main subjects that needs to be said is that it is not the fault of the person or persons if this stuff happened to people. It's not their fault. And reacting again, you know, she brought up the text for Johnny Depp. That was a text message to a friend when dealing with a horrible situation, not a text message to a person that was involved. There was somebody friends with, and you saw what was happening there. And of course, people like to spin that you should never react with anger. Well, what are you supposed to do? You're just supposed to lay down and take it and take it and take it. Of course, people get angry. Of course, people, they have to let it out because otherwise they self-destruct. And, you know, we see horrible rates of men acting with finality, I'm going to say, you know, in their lives, ending themselves. And it's terrible. You know, mental health is frowned down upon. And of course, people like Laura Owens have been perceived as a victim. The law enforcement looked at them as a victim. Look at what it's taken to get to this point. So if people want to see justice, this is how you get it. This is your point. Let me hit a couple more super chats, and we will hit the video we were covering yesterday. 1 second here. I think it was stuck there. Desiree, thanks for the find there. Off topic, did you ever check out that Ed Kemper actually read for audiobooks? Children's books? I forgot about that. I'm going to take a screenshot of that now, though. I forgot about it. I got off track because you mentioned that. Or I guess I'm going to say it was you. That's wild. That is absolutely wild. Daniel, thanks for the 10 there. Congratulations to the girls on the successful karate progression. Just as well, I read this before I sent it. Autocorrect changed karate to karaoke. Their karaoke progression. Yeah, I mean, they're both, the oldest, little umbrella girl. She's not as little now anymore as she grows up. She got her yellow belt the other day. And her sister is like, oh, I want my yellow belt. I've been working hard. And, her favorite color is yellow. So she got the note for it today. Now, we were going through this yesterday. I'm going to adjust the volume. I made it loud, okay? Very loud. So when I turn it on, if it's not, I've got the volume turned down somewhat, okay? Because it is so loud. And the only reason I don't turn it up to an insane volume is the low quality. When you boost it, it picks up the background sound too. So the background sound, it's there. It is. It's just, it's going to be there no matter what. But I want to make it where we can listen. It won't have subtitles, unfortunately. I mean, that's the way. Well, I don't know. Maybe it can close caption. Hey, I didn't realize this thing could close caption. Can you close caption? We'll see. We'll see if it actually manages to generate them or not. We'll find out as we go through. But tell me if it needs to be turned up more, okay? I mean, it is, I boosted it a lot. So, let's start this
Owens
out.
and Clayton Echard, case
And if it's too loud,
FC 2023.
if that's too loud for you too, tell me and I'll turn it down. So anyway, here we go. Let's try it out. And y'all tell me where it goes and we'll adjust it accordingly.
3052771 for Ms. Owens. Counsel, do you want to make your appearance?
Yes, Your Honor. Attorney Joshua Lopez representing the plaintiff in this matter, Laura Owens, who's present before the court.
See, I told you to be loud. Let's start it out, and I had to boost it. It was so low, it sounded like crickets fighting in a courtroom. I'm gonna turn it down to a little. Oh, you can turn yours down. That's true. I'm gonna turn it down to around here. It's loud on mine, and I'm gonna turn it right there. Tell me if this is good. If you have a problem, I'll adjust it accordingly.
Sitting to my right.
Thank
Oh,
you.
look.
Nobody has to stand up again. Okay.
Real subtitles.
All right. So, Ms. Owens, please tell me your name and date of birth.
Laura Owens, 5/14/1990.
Thank you. Mr. Echard, sir, tell me your name and date of birth.
Clayton Echard, 4/29/93.
Echard, thank
Look at those subtitles. Now, this is actually in a Dropbox. I put this into Dropbox, and apparently Dropbox has a feature where it can not only create subtitles, which I did not realize that. I've never had any need for that, but it creates pretty good subtitles, much better than YouTube. YouTube's were just an absolute jacked up mess, So, hey, I guess we got two things out of that. So.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to administer the oath. Do you both solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay. Just before we start, there was a motion to allow plaintiff to appear by phone. I denied it last night. And then there's another motion from the plaintiff this morning.
I can't make it bigger. The way it's set, it would be, this is the way it... this is the full blow up where it's at. So we're full screened out already. So unfortunately, it will not make it any bigger. That is it's in the Dropbox. So, to get our wonderful subtitles, that's where it is. It doesn't have the picture is, I believe it was at 320p anyway. So the picture is mud. That's the quality of the court camera too. Just to say, like, I went in and I took their video and produced it not in native, but I tried to upscale it as far as it could go. So this is attempting to let software clean it up and upscale it. So you'll notice there's a little more detail, but it's still pretty muddy, And that, like I said, that's the court camera, just to say.
Oh, it says attorney for defendant, but that's a typo, right?
That is a typo, Your Honor, and it's my understanding, at the same time I was unaware, yesterday there was the hearing, and we had a hearing yesterday. Mr. Echard was the petitioner in that matter in an injunction against harassment matter that was available for individuals to access that hearing online via the court's website. It's my understanding in order of protection hearings that online access is not available.
That's what I was told by staff.
Okay.
So I'm just going to deny it as moot.
No problem.
Your second motion, which is to request that the hearing be closed from the public. Well, that's a non-starter, pretty much.
Okay.
That's really rare.
I understand.
These public.
Yeah, I want to note this too. I know I stopped. Apologies. I'll try not to do this every single minute when there's something. But if you have another video that comes up within stuff, if people send me a link, give me a few hours before live streams, I can try to upscale, and I'll drop it in a Dropbox and see if we can do them like this from now on. That way we're not, and I'll make it available to whomever. So, I'm not just talking about for myself. So if like Dave needs it or whomever needs a video, if we have one that needs to be played like that, some video, like if they take it outside of the courtroom, that's different. But if it's a court video and we need this, I really like the subtitles that are here, because the subtitles that we had before were garbage. I know there are people out there that need them for whatever issue. We have quite a few people here that I need them just to read, but some people, they find them necessary. So I try to put closed captions on anything that I do like that. But yeah, if you'll shoot that stuff over to me, I'll do my best to upscale. And again, there are people that are better at it than me, of course, but I had time last night, and I'll try my best. And like I said, I'll make it available to whomever. I'll throw the link out there. So anyway, now we're going.
Hearings, but at the same time, or that the hearing be closed from watching online. I'm told by my staff that we don't do that. It's just not set up to do that today.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So that's tonight as well. But anyway, we'll file your. Let me just give this to you so you can file it after the hearing. There are real kind of unusual rules attached to orders of protection. So. All right. I've read the petition.
Did you notice it skipped all of his rambling, by the way? It was like, that's not important. Let's go to the petition part. The subtitles just stopped, and we're like, I'm just going to ignore all that crap. Sorry, Duty.
I run all of this. Is just, where'd he go? Is he down there?
Yeah, he's plugging in.
All right. The way I run all of my hearings on orders of protection is they give us a time slot of 45 minutes. So I usually always start out by saying to people, each side will get 20 minutes to put on their entire case, and that includes me looking at any exhibits you might have. And the way the sequence of events will be that the plaintiff gets to go first. I want to hear her view of the matter, her story, and she can include her exhibits, as to supplement what she's saying. And then after a plaintiff is done testifying, then I'm going to invite the defendant, Mr. Echard, to ask questions of the plaintiff if you have any. You don't have to have any, and I don't take any inference from whether you have them or not. So once that process is done, then I'm going to invite the defendant, Mr. Echard, to tell me what happened from his point of view. And we'll consider the exhibits that he has. And then I'm going to invite counsel for Ms. Owens to ask Mr. Echard any questions if he has any. Again, you don't have to have any. And then finally, here's the other motion. And then finally, I'll give Ms. Owens an opportunity to sum up or to do a rebuttal to what Mr. Echard said, okay? So it's a really good idea not to use up your whole 20 minutes in your initial presentation. And the defendant, too, you know, if you want to reserve some time to ask questions, you try not to go over your time. If both of you have been efficient, if you've been efficient and you need more time, and I think we need more time, we're going to do that. But I want to make that judgment when I get there. I don't know. It depends on if you're not efficient and you're going off on different things that don't really have any relevance to this, then I probably will not allow more time. So with that said, I will invite Ms. Owens to put on her case. You've got 20 minutes, Mr. Lopez.
And Your Honor, can I do a brief opening?
Of course.
Okay. Let me just start my timer.
Does he not seem lost to you? Like, does he not seem a little more like involved with his drink than I don't know. When I'm watching him, he's going through and like, okay, but I mean, you know, having seen how all of this plays out, I just, it frustrates me, just to be honest.
The evidence will show that Laura and Clayton had a romantic relationship back in May of 2023. Laura became pregnant with Clayton's twins. They are due in February of 2024. Since that time, Clayton has disputed that Laura is actually pregnant or that he is the father of their unborn children. Clayton has made it known to Laura that he hates her, and this has caused him to post harassing information about Laura to his hundreds of thousands of followers online. The evidence will show that Clayton has committed domestic violence within the meaning of the statute in multiple ways within the past year, and that there is a likelihood that this unlawful conduct will continue into the future if this order of protection does not remain in effect.
Now, this is very annoying by the way that they define domestic violence. Essentially, what we're going to hear is that Laura can say or do anything that she wants. She can contact media, whatever. When tests come back in, if you're like, you know, you have your reaction like your Maury moment, you know, you are not the father. You know, there's very little fetal DNA, bam, and you're like, hell yeah, apparently you're not allowed to feel aggrieved or wronged. You're not allowed to celebrate and be like, you know, I mean, he's pretty nice about it. I'd have been laying down the streaming freaking tracks of profanity. I'd been like, F yes, you know? I mean, I'd have been all over that sucker. I'd have break danced. Actually, I probably wouldn't have break danced. I'd give you an avatar that break dance at least. If I tried to break dance, I'd probably break something while I was dancing. But, you know, Clayton, man, I mean, I thought he was pretty decent about it, all things considered. I mean, you got somebody gaming you, and you feel like they're gaming you. You're not allowed to respond. This idea that you're obligated to nicety is a fucked up concept to me. Free speech unless somebody, listen to the definition they go with. It's somebody's annoying you. Man, you know, if annoyance is domestic violence, then there are a lot of fucking people that have done terrible things to yours truly, and I'm sure all of us there. You know what I mean? But anyway, check it out.
We will request at the end of this hearing that it do remain in effect. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay. Got to start by establishing the relationship and then including whether they've ever lived together, and then take it from there.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Sure.
Laura, how do you know Clayton?
He was my realtor to start with, and then
the vocal fry.
we were intimate one night in May of...
Listen to all that vocal fry, by the way. You know, he was totally in a relationship with me. That's a lot of vocal fry.
This year.
And when you say intimate, is that a sexual relationship that you had with Mr. Echard?
Yes.
Where was that?
That was at his house.
And is his house located in Scottsdale?
Yes, it is.
Here in Arizona?
Yes.
And within Maricopa County?
Yes.
All right. And after that encounter with Clayton, was that back in May of 2023?
Yes, it was.
And what happened from then?
From then, well, we had a real estate transaction that went wrong. He ended up getting in trouble with the ADRE for not submitting my offers, but that happened a few months later. After that, on June 1st, I found out that I was pregnant, and I figured he probably wouldn't believe it, so I went to urgent care, to Banner Urgent Care, and had it confirmed there by a doctor, and then I...
Listen to all the stuff that she says, by the way. Just drink this in and remember where we are. That's what makes this so important to go over. Drink in the way that she defines everything and what she did.
Told him.
Okay. And was there anybody that else other than Clayton that these unborn children could belong to?
No, I hadn't been intimate with anyone else since March of 2022. I was violently assaulted and raped, and I had hang-ups for a long time.
Okay. Now, since then, what has your relationship been with Clayton moving forward?
Well, I've tried to get Clayton to accept responsibility and figure out a parenting plan with me, but that's really been it. It's not like it's been a dating relationship. And yeah, I mean, we've communicated via email for the most part.
Okay, and has he posted anything online or sent you communications indicating his hatred toward you?
Yes, he has.
Please avoid the leading questions.
Has he sent communication to you?
Yes.
Okay, and what is that in regard to?
That has been in regard to how he feels about me, and how he hates me, and that doing this to him, meaning making him be a father, would be his idea of being in a living hell. He's told me he wanted 100% custody, despite also claiming I wasn't pregnant, but then he said I should take 100% custody. He also said that when we thought it was just one baby, would be put up for adoption, and then he said that he wanted me to have an abortion.
Okay, so I would like you to turn to Exhibit 1. What is that?
These are text messages from Clayton to me, just threatening, really, saying that, you know, I needed to back off on, basically on saying I was pregnant, and then he referred to, yeah, he hates me, he demanded he talk to my mom, which he did, and then he said people like me needed to be held accountable if I was lying about being pregnant, which I clearly was not. So
that's a threat, right? Saying that you, okay, let's just take it at 100% at the word, okay? I'm just to say, let's just say 100% at its word. And again, not, but if we did, hating someone, wanting to talk to their mother, and saying, you need to be held 100% accountable if you're lying. That's threats, you know. Basically, again, she's going through and saying this is what it says. It says threats, but you know, again, the description's not really. I'll leave that to you. Again, if it were 100%, do you consider saying that that person may consider it a threat because it's a threat of them facing justice, but that is not a threat. Much different.
He said that when his mind is rooted in anger, it doesn't sway, which I took as threatening, and then we have about...
Which I defined as threatening. Oh, well. So I perceived this as a... Oh, my God. Ugh.
Him saying about an abortion or adoption.
Now, these text messages, are those from Clayton to you?
Yes.
And were those within the past year?
Yes, they were.
Since May of 2023?
Yes.
When you became pregnant?
Yes.
Okay.
So that was, you heard all of that again. Those are the threats. Her own words.
What happened on 9/21/2023, as you stated in your petition?
That was when Clayton posted on his social media, that had a big following, that I had 2 identical cases, and tried to present me in a very false light to his followers.
Did Clayton ever indicate to you that he wanted you to prove to him that you were pregnant?
Yes.
And did you take steps to do that?
Yes, I did.
It did sound like he said, "Did you take sex to do that?" Instead of saying "take steps." That's how the subtitles defined that, by the way.
I went over to his house and took a test he bought in front of him, and I peed on a stick in front of him.
Okay. Were there other things that you did to show Clayton that you were in fact pregnant?
Yes, I invited Clayton and his family to go to my first ultrasound with me.
So to go to my first ultrasound with me, you notice that one right there, right there. I invited Clayton and his family. They were all invited to go to my first ultrasound. So the implication is there's a first ultrasound, and the implication is that there are more ultrasounds, right? That's how you would take that. I mean, if I were the judge, I was hearing this just point blank. Nothing else had been presented whatsoever. I would take that as multiple ultrasounds. Of course, I would think that would happen anyway.
Which his family didn't respond and he didn't go. And I asked about taking
What would you think would have happened if Clayton would have said, "Okay, I want to go"? What do you think would have happened in this case? I'm curious. I'm curious how you think that would have played out, by the way.
Prenatal paternity test, and this has been an issue with him and I going back and forth as to who to take the paternity test, but I proved that I paid for it in August, and he did not show up for his portion. He didn't schedule it.
So did you ever send him a video showing him that you in fact were pregnant?
Yes, I did.
Okay, I'd like to turn the court to Exhibit 17, and Your Honor, I'd like to admit Exhibit 1 into evidence.
Any objection to Exhibit 1, the text messages?
Yes, I'm trying to pull it up here. I got it sent via email. I would just simply object on the basis that I think there's missing context. It's a text message where no context is provided, and considering the circumstances that I do not believe her to be pregnant, I believe that I'm the one being harassed. So I don't believe that I ever have harassed her.
Okay. I think the context can be shown when it's your turn. You can fill that in. Okay. So overruled, I'll admit Exhibit 1. What's the next one?
Your Honor, I'd like to present, and I'm skipping around here because of the limitation of time, but Exhibit 17, Your Honor. Okay. And I can bring it's a video, I can bring it up.
The court doesn't have a video in hand, so that would be it's going to be the last exhibit on the list, which will be Exhibit 52.
The judge, you went, and the subtitle, it was like, that's a foreign language. Did you see that? Oh, boy.
You don't have a video in hand?
No, I don't have a video.
Did you give her a thumb drive?
I did give them a thumb drive yesterday, Your Honor.
Okay, so if it's in there, it'll be Exhibit 52 because our exhibits are numbered differently than how you guys submitted them. So it'll just be Exhibit 52.
Did you give Mr. Echard a copy of the thumb drive?
I did, Your Honor.
Good, okay. All right. But tell us what's on it first, so Mr. Echard just doesn't land in his lap.
No problem.
And he has a chance to object.
Okay.
So what is this? Lay a foundation for this video.
Okay.
You've already talked about the fact that she offered to all the stuff that she did to show Mr. Echard that she really was pregnant. Paternity test, she said he didn't show up for it. All that stuff. So what is this a video of? Is it him or is it somebody else on the video?
Who is the video of Ms. Owens?
It's of me showing that I was pregnant. It was a video of me turning to each side to show that I was pregnant.
And did you send that video to anyone else except for Mr. Echard?
The video on 9/20.
The video that you just disclosed regarding your pregnant stomach?
No.
Okay, now this is important too. She will contradict this statement about Did I send that? Well, page 6, but they promised that they wouldn't do anything with it. So right here is a massive problem. Other people were given access to this. This is, like I say, it's a massive problem here because quite simply, this is not true.
And did you ever find any harassing information regarding that video online after you sent it to Mr. Echard?
I think you're referring to a different exhibit, actually. The Halloween one?
Yeah.
Because that was, one was a video, one was a photo.
Did you ever send?
This had an image, so exhibit 11 is a screen grab of a Reddit thread saying how to win the scariest costume contest, and it's me turned showing my stomach, and it's me holding a sonogram of our son that only he had possession of, so he clearly made this up of me, which obviously was offensive.
Holding our son. Interesting. But, yeah, so the idea is, again, no one else could have put this information out there. No one else whatsoever, because no one else has access to it.
So in Exhibit 11,
Yeah.
our Exhibit 11, that is a picture that you had sent to Mr. Echard.
Yes.
You did not send that to anyone else, or did you?
This was sent to somebody in the press, but they weren't supposed to publish it. But the sonogram that I'm supposedly holding was, that was not sent to anyone else other than him.
Okay. So was he the only one that would have been able to post that?
Yes, he was.
Okay. Your Honor, Exhibit 11, I'd like to admit into evidence.
Any objection?
That's the one with the picture right there. Just want to
Yeah.
sure you can admit that.
Okay, thank you. Exhibit 11 is admitted.
I find it fascinating, by the way, that somebody that has allegedly, let's say, created many accounts online to do many a thing is accusing Echard of going out and creating all of these accounts, all of these different ones that they're just random accounts out there. And again, the one way that she quote unquote proves that is by saying, oh, nobody could have had access to this other stuff. It has to be him.
Okay. Moving forward, let's talk about
Well, tell me, what channel did this have any connection to her, or besides her image, her face is not shown.
Mm-hmm.
So does this identify her in any way?
So it does because of his image.
What channel? I mean, what the fuck does that mean? What does that mean? That tells you, and this is a real problem in the courtroom, by the way. This happens, it doesn't matter what you're covering, whether that's laws that talk about iPhones, and fixing iPhones. I throw that in there because you have judges that have the same problem. Or talking about sharing posts or anything else. You have judges that have absolutely no idea how modern technology works at all. But they are deciding on things that involve, again, they involve technology. They have no understanding of whatsoever. And they just accept as reality many of the things that they're told. I watched a case where a judge was comparing going in and not just sharing or retweeting something, but also putting in comments is the same as going on Facebook and sharing pictures of kittens, which the two are not the same. not in any way, shape, or form. But it showed you how the understanding of many of the judges, even if they have some understanding of modern technology, it's limited to either Facebook or potentially maybe, when he said channel, maybe he was talking about YouTube. Maybe he's talking about fucking ABC. I mean, I don't really know. What channel was that on again? The interwebs.
People on Reddit, there have been just thousands of people who have posted on this about me, and so this was just another post about me, but I've been identified on Reddit. And this image was shown. Somebody had gotten this image on Reddit, and it was with my face. They just took it out for the purpose of this post.
Okay.
Now, is it your understanding that Clayton had posted online regarding misinformation regarding your pregnancy?
Yes.
Okay. And what happened after that?
So Clayton posted a video on 10/6 on his Instagram that I believe we have. And it was him saying that there had been test results back from the lab, from the prenatal maternity test, saying that the results came back and there was little to no fetal DNA, and that he wasn't the father, and it's a great way to start off the week.
Now, was the paternity test over at that point?
No, it was not. It still is not over.
Is it ongoing?
It's ongoing, and that's what I was told by the lab. They said that they got a diluted sample and that they needed me to submit a new sample, that there was little to no fetal DNA within that sample, but obviously not that there wasn't within me. It was some issue with transit, so they had me come back and take another test.
So you see how that's weaponized. He posts. He's like, hey, I had this. This is the way that I've seen it. This is used against him. Oh no, it's still ongoing. He's not allowed to have a voice in this. All this stuff is used against him. Essentially, she can claim anything. She could introduce shit to the media. She can do whatever she wanted, and he is not allowed to say a damn word. That is not that's not fucking America. In the U.S., we have the freedom of speech. We can talk about that. I mean, this directly impacts you. You feel that somebody has defrauded you here? You have the right to speak about that. Unless you're under an order not to. You have the right to fucking speak about this kind of stuff. Or you're supposed to. It shows you just how quickly your so-called rights can be taken away by people that don't even understand any of these fucking processes. They don't even understand what's going on. They're just like, oh man, it's so mean that you had a voice. Oh, poor her. Poor, quote-unquote, pregnant her.
Clayton made that post. What happened in regard to his fans and followers?
His fans and followers went absolutely wild on me, harassing me, telling me that I wasn't pregnant or that I had filed this false case against Clayton. And the press ran with the story we have with the exhibit.
Is that post that Clayton had posted online is exhibit 16?
So complaining about the press running with a story. Are you freaking kidding me? I mean, oh no, the press, he posted that. I mean, you went to the press, you introduced the story to the press, but again, it just shows you coverage has to be from a specific lens or angle. Otherwise.
In that video.
Yes, it is.
Okay, Your Honor, I'd like to move into evidence exhibit 16 and then publish it for the court.
All the videos are going to be on exhibit 52.
Okay.
They're not separated out.
Exhibit 52 then, Your Honor.
Okay, any objection to my looking at this video that he's...
No, I made it public, so...
Okay, then go ahead. That's admitted then. So we're going to watch it over here?
I can put my computer wherever is best for the court to...
Well, why don't you go ahead and put it on the witness stand, and I can see it there. And Mr. Echard, you're welcome to come up and look. You probably should, but...
Well, I can. I mean, I know the video.
Well, anyway, that way you're not going to feel that you're...
You know what we need on a Friday? We need some good news. And who's got the good news today? I got the good news. What's that good news, Clayton? Well, test results came back early, and they said little to no fetal DNA present. Let's go, baby. We knew, I knew that was going to happen. Thankfully, 5 months of torture can finally be put to rest. I want to say thank you all to those that have supported me and waited until everything came out. And man, 2 false accusations in 2 years. I really don't want to, look ahead to next year to see what's going to happen. I think 2 false accusations in a lifetime is enough. So, thank you all for the support, the love. This was a trying time, but I learned so much about myself. And now, back to the regularly scheduled programming, baby. Listen, it's Friday.
Miss Owens.
See, okay, everything is wrong with what just happened there. Everything. You got to go up there and stand with. First, you got to go up there and stand. You have to go up there and stand with his lawyer. The judge comes back looking all solemn. This is the mindset, though, that you encounter. You will have frauds in there. And again, this subject has not been proven to be real, but it's already taken as a fucking fact. Even though he just told you, you have a test, it comes back, you have multiple tests that are done that come back. Little to no fetal DNA. But, hey, again, all of this too, if you look at the timeline, big issues when all of this starts, right? Big issues for her lawyer to try to work around. That's why we've heard some crazy ideas on how that timeline still stays intact, because otherwise, everything that she did, it's a real problem for her, because she filed this stuff. We had a date before anything else happens, a quote-unquote miscarriage date. And yet, that's why we get this this absorbed twin, the vanishing twin. That's why we get that. That's been discussed. We have all of these other ideas that are discussed. But on top of that, we find out, that evidence like a sonogram. We found out quite a bit about that in the aftermath, haven't we? We found out a lot about a supposed ultrasound, or lack thereof. Again, we've had an OGBYN. The only problem is that's the expert witness. That's not a treating OGBYN. You didn't have somebody that came in and treated her. You had somebody that was hired to say, well, X, Y, and Z. But again, we're missing quite a few letters of the alphabet getting there, if you know what I mean.
Did you ask Clayton to take down that post?
I did, yes.
Were there other posts that you asked Clayton to take down?
One was an Instagram story that he had that expired after 24 hours, but he didn't take it down.
And what was that Instagram post in referring to?
That was saying that I had posted I had made 2 identical allegations against 2 other men.
Okay. And in that video where he indicates that the results came back early, was that true?
No.
Okay. Were the things that he was posting online causing, or was it known to him that it was causing you to be harassed by him and his followers and fans?
Yes, it was. I made that very clear. And also the news headlines that came back were causing that as well.
And did he ever take down those posts?
So again, he's supposed to not speak about it because followers and fans are quote-unquote harassing, and because headlines, anything that has happened to him in this process doesn't fucking matter. None of it matters. He doesn't have the right to give any type of commentary. And again, look at where we are now.
The Instagram story expired after 24 hours, but the other post, no, that's still up.
Okay. Now, what happened on 9/21/2023?
When was this Instagram post, by the way, that you've referred to?
That was on, I think it was 10/6.
Do you have any pictures of it or anything?
Of which post?
The Instagram post.
The one from 10/6, the one we just saw.
Yeah, the one you just talked about.
Not the video that was shown. A different one.
The one that expired after 24 hours.
Oh, I have it on my phone, but I didn't print it on, yeah.
All right, fine.
Yeah, I do have it.
Well, okay, but it's not, your testimony's evidence, but
okay.
I was just asking if there was something that, so, okay. All right, go ahead.
And let me just bring it back.
And a time check, by the way, you got about 4 minutes.
All right, did you ever talk to... You don't want to do this long. No.
Poor Clayton, man. When you look at him there, he's just like, oh my God. You know, because you have it in your head that if you go to a court and you present them with truth, that truth will win out. Unfortunately, quote unquote, justice doesn't work like that. The judicial system, It's wild. Again, like when you see channels that talk about issues, like this is why people talk about it, because again, look at what it took. Look at how much money. Do you think the average person could fight something like this? The average person cannot bring in enough heavy-hitting weight to fight something like this. They would be at the mercy of another person. And again, how would this play out? If he couldn't have defended himself, if he could not, if he was just some average Joe that was here, how would this play differently? That's the real travesty of situations like this.
You know that the paternity test is not over, is that right?
Yes.
And you had, after you had seen the different posts that Mr. Echard made online, did you speak with the lab regarding those?
Yes, I did.
And when you spoke to the lab, what did they say?
They said that the testing was ongoing, and they said that Clayton very well knew that the testing was ongoing despite having posted that.
Okay, and...
He needed a lawyer right there. He needed a lawyer to object to that statement too, you know, because she is referencing a conversation that, again, if you had a lawyer present, they'd be like, objection, no, none of that. You can call somebody and actually ask them about what was said about Clayton, that he knew that this was ongoing. I mean, what a bunch of garbage.
Do you have a phone call with the lab in regard to that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and that's our Exhibit 18. I believe that the court clerk has indicated it's Exhibit 52.
Yes, her whole fucking testimony is hearsay. People are asking about hearsay. Look at all the hearsay in that. Again, this isn't a problem with anybody that goes into a courtroom without a lawyer. That is a problem for you. But people are given this notion that you don't need a lawyer when you face off here. Because again, a lot of people think you have the truth on your side, therefore. Laura has money on her side. Laura has this story about pregnancy on her side. I mean, this isn't an uphill climb. This is trying to hit the peaks of Everest. Many and many a man has fallen along the way. So when you go into this, and again, that's not a shot at a Clayton or anything. I want to make that clear because people are given this idea that you can go in and you're going to get justice if. Because again, you look at all the problems. He's presenting his side. He's like, look, there's no proof that there's a pregnancy whatsoever. And she's like, well, look at my belly. Who gives the fuck? What does that mean? Maybe you ate too many burritos that day. I don't know. I don't know what that means. I mean, again, I sat around on my ass and was lazy during COVID. Did I get pregnant? Well, I hope to God not, because this is the longest pregnancy I've ever heard of, These lazy bastards won't move out. I want my swimsuit body back. I mean, seriously, get out. But you know what I mean? I mean, that doesn't prove anything. What does that prove? Like, you showed that off? You, quote-unquote, invited people to go see something? You had tests that were, quote-unquote, ongoing or inconclusive? We didn't have anybody actually speak to that. All we have are inconclusive, as she defines it. When you look at it, though, what it said is little to no fetal DNA. That's the admission. She defined it. She defined it with people that were not present. So, you're allowed to interpret things too. I mean, I am allowed to look at something and draw inference from it. I'm allowed to have an opinion about something. And if this is my fucking life that somebody is wrecking, I will be damned if I'm going to feel good about sitting on the sideline. Unfortunately, that is something that happens in cases, though. You end up, when a case is going on, you sit on your hands. But this isn't the case. There was none of that. This is being utilized as, I didn't like what he had to say, therefore. And she had already spoken again to the media. She had put this, I mean, it's fucking boggling when you think about it. I mean, even with a lawyer, would he have gotten justice here? Probably not. Not at the moment. It is a very important snapshot for his case, though. When people saw this at the beginning, the people that saw this when early on or heard about what happened or whatever, when people, they heard this early, people still had to piece together. We have the luxury right now. Like for me, I got to this later. Like people, many of you, Dave Neal, so many people. I don't want to just throw in one to do people, because there are lots of people. But a lot of people went in and found a lot of evidence that supported this. But now we can look back and we can see everything in the way it's presented. So unfortunately, I mean, this has got to be a horrible situation when it played, especially the way that came up. But it's been valuable, too, for its insights as far as his case is concerned going forward.
Your Honor, I'd like to move into evidence our Exhibit 18, which is a phone call with my client and the lab.
Any objection?
No.
Object, Clayton.
All right, it's admitted. And that's just audio, right?
Yes, Your Honor. It's just audio. Can I come up and
Sure,
for the court?
you can.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Thanks, sir.
Clayton needed a lawyer for him. They would have been able to present a phone call with the lab themselves, knowing what questions to ask. Again, there are a lot of things. Like I said, the way stuff plays now, it's beneficial in the present, but in the moment, man, you can see it in his body language. There's this realization of what the fuck.
Okay, do you think he understood that the result wasn't back and I needed to take the test again?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
We're still testing. We haven't told the date that you were scheduled for on that yet.
Yeah, okay, so he did understand. It wasn't like there was any misunderstanding, you don't think?
No.
know if maybe calling him would help, but if you explained it the same way you did to me, then I don't think
Sure,
it would be.
there's a date. The date we're tracking. We'll get it Thursday, purified, run it Friday, and it should be coming. Same schedule should be coming out Monday afternoon or so. And as soon as it does, we're gonna continue.
Okay, so he did understand it wasn't really technical, came back early, like you said. I think he did. Well, you know what? I'm sure he understood that. Yeah, I'm sure he understood. Yeah,
I'm sure he understood.
From your guys' standpoint, you've had it before where, like, the sample comes back like this, and that doesn't mean that the pregnancy is not there anymore. You know?
Yeah, it's just we need another sample to finish up testing. So once we get that, yeah, we'll give you a call. Let you know.
Okay, so it just needs to be more concentrated, basically.
Yeah, well, for fetal DNA, we need a percentage high enough that we get back beyond 99%. We don't have that with this first sample, so hopefully you come into the site, hold it on with drinking water, just so we don't dilute any of that fetal signal. That should be quite helpful.
I mean, so you look at that conversation again. It talks about how Clayton understands things. Like they're speaking to his mindset. There's a problem. There's a real fucking problem there. But we know what happens with other tests. Inclusive. We know. We know how this stuff goes. It's so nasty. Because they also, they give you, that conversation has more hints. Like, it shouldn't keep coming back this way. We shouldn't keep having problems.
Has the harassment, text messages, posts online, has that caused you a great deal of distress?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And when I define distress for me, what's been going on?
I haven't slept well at all. I'm thinking of this all the time because I'm getting harassed by people who are even, I've had a ton of them who've contacted my parents and my brother-in-law and my sister, acting like I am crazy and like I have, quote, done this before when I wanted to address that because I know that he's going to address that these two identical allegations. I've never had a paternity case against somebody. I do have 2 orders of protection against 2 men who I got pregnant by. The pregnancies are verified. That's we admitted that into evidence as well.
Let me just stop you. Are you pregnant?
Yes.
Okay, can you stand up for the court?
Yes.
Now,
what does that mean? I mean, again, that is not anything. That doesn't mean shit. That infuriates me. Stand up again. My ass right now. Like I guess I would pass as pregnant. You know? Because I'm rocking the fat dad bod. Well, I'm not fat, but I'm fat enough right now because I've been lazy. I'm working it off, but my God, COVID was not friendly to, you know, this chair and me, we became really good friends for a while. But I'm glad to know you buggers out there can't fat shame me. You know why? Because I am pregnant. I know. Even though, again, 18 months may not be typical, you don't understand. My stomach absorbed into itself and became a uterus. And then it absorbed, it reabsorbed into a stomach after 9 months. So, you know, it postponed things and then came back. 18 months. 18 months. Now you know. Knowing's half the battle, right? Oh, shit. What does that mean, though? Stand up for the class. I mean, I'm known again, you know. I got some pregnant, I got a lot of male pregnant friends, I think. I'd be like, you know, excuse me, yeah, when you stand up, could you part your beard to the side and show the class? You know, it's like, well, no.
I'll take her word for it. Everybody seems to be assuming that.
I'll take her word for it. The fuck you say. I'll take her word for it. You heard that. That is not the way things should ever play out. I'll take her word that this, again, medical science, I'll take her word for it. She stood up. I mean, hey, that's all that matters.
All right, you're you're out of time pretty much.
Okay, can I just ask one?
No.
Okay.
Mr. Echard, do you have any questions for the plaintiff? You don't have to have any.
I do, actually.
You go ahead.
Yes.
Questions? Okay, don't argue with it though. Okay.
Yes. Ms. Owens, did you send me via email an ultrasound video?
Yes.
You did? Okay. That was sent by you, okay. Did you also send me an ultrasound photo via email?
Yes, I did.
You did? Okay.
But the video,
do you have
the video I was trying to attach for you?
So the video that I received,
Yes.
you sent that video?
Yes. That's my understanding. You said that you got the video, so.
Okay. I will show this the video when it's my time to present that sheet is that I'm speaking of. And
you see where he's going. You see how this is going.
And the ultrasound picture that you sent me, or you had your lawyer show me, do you have an ultrasound report that comes with that?
Yes.
You do. Why have you not presented that as evidence?
Because
Objection, Your Honor. That sounds like health information that she doesn't have to disclose her health information to the court.
So she doesn't have to disclose her health information to the court, but hey, we're just supposed to take her fucking word that this thing belongs to her. Here's this, but she can only present. See a problem there? Do you smell a problem?
Overall, you can answer.
I offered you a HIPAA release to get my health information as recently as I think last week, and you didn't get back to me.
I'm not going to argue with that. That's false. Did I ask you multiple times early on to take a paternity test?
Yes, as did I. I asked you the same thing.
And did you place stipulations upon that I had to date you exclusively in order for you to take that test?
For 2 weeks in order to take it early. Otherwise, I would just wait until the birth of the children, as was required of me by law. It was if you wanted to know early.
So you're agreeing you would only take the test if I were to date you exclusively?
I think you're mischaracterizing what it was. It was so we could make a decision as to whether or not to even proceed with the pregnancy.
This is his time.
Yeah.
See, now you saw that right there. Isn't that fascinating? So the dating contract thing, yeah. If you wanted to find out before we went to court anything else on that, you had to agree to date me exclusively. Huh. That's bizarre, isn't it? Don't you think that's I mean, if you were... That is a very bizarre caveat. Well, sure, I'll prove to you that I'll take a paternity test. Yeah, of course. But before I'll do that, we have to date. Why do we have to date? Well, according to her, that's so we can decide whether to keep the baby or not. That's... That also doesn't, like, this baby, there's air quote, you can't see my air quotes, but this baby, its existence would be contingent on whether or not you would date. If you would date, then sure, no more baby. We could be exclusive together and hook up, but if not, 2 weeks later, well, I mean, that is crazy shit. I mean, really let that sink into your brain. Because that is some wild stuff to hear.
So I'm going to ask you to just answer his question, yes or no, if you can. If you're unable to, just say I'm unable to answer it.
Okay.
So, Mr. Echard, ask the question again.
Yes. Did you say to me that you would only take or do a paternity test if I were to date you exclusively?
At what point?
Within the first two months?
Yes.
You did state that?
Yeah.
Okay. Last question. Would you agree that only oral sex was performed the night that we were intimate?
I would not agree with that.
What would you say happened?
I explained it to you in an email. You said you were insanely high that night and clearly do not have full recollection of what happened. Do you want me to explain it to the court in detail, or?
I'm okay with that. You explaining what happened, yes.
Okay.
I remember everything, but yes, go ahead.
I remember everything as well. You were asking me when we were
Your Honor.
naked and...
Just a moment, please. Did you have a legal objection?
Yeah, I'm going to object at this point. I think this is a little bit outside of the scope of what this hearing is in regard to this specific. I think that I've laid enough foundation. I think it presented enough evidence to show that there was a romantic relationship. Mr. Echard actually, it sounds like he's acknowledging that by his question. Getting into the details of what sounds to be potentially sexual intercourse on the date of what happened on that night, I don't think that needs to be presented in testimony to the court.
I think to some degree I sympathize with that. Mr. Echard, to go step by step about who took whose shirt off first kind of thing is really kind of beside the point. It's salacious and it's an invasion of both of your rights of privacy.
Okay.
But what I would think is legitimate is to say, did we have sexual intercourse? Where a person could become pregnant. You can ask something like that.
Yeah, and I guess I'll ask that directly. Did we have sexual intercourse that night?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So you're finished with your question?
I am.
Okay. Then I'd like to hear what you have to say about.
See, that would have been very valuable to be able to present, because it would have locked in a specific narrative. You notice she didn't get into any "you forced yourself on me" non-consensually. Like when they're talking about violence being done to you too, I think that this is a very legitimate point. You notice that doesn't come up in this at all. The idea of consent never is brought up in a protective hearing. This would be the place that something like that would be very valuable, don't you think? Instead, that's become when they talk about salacious items that violate rights, privacy, I seem to recall a certain lawyer saying that this man arped his client after that sentence that she threw in. Like he threw out remember his, I'm like Clayton except, remember that post? You remember the document that was brought in? You remember other documents that he's brought in? I mean, it's fascinating how those details, they do end up mattering. They end up mattering quite a bit. And Clayton understood that those details mattered. He's actually shut down on that. He ended up getting shut down because it essentially had become a he said, she said. But unfortunately, what she said is predicated by this, but you're pregnant, which the judge was like, I'll take your word on it. That's a huge problem. There's no paternity test that has said that he is a father of anything. There's no paternity, even if there was a pregnancy, her word is that she was not active with other people either. I mean, again, he hasn't been locked down as a father at all. It's just insanity. Not even having to prove that you're fucking actually pregnant. It's craziness.
Everything they presented, try to focus on what they presented. Everything else is beside the point, because I'm just focusing on what they put into evidence, not their allegations, but what's in evidence.
Sure. So
that focused exactly on everything that was in evidence, by the way. When you're talking about whether or not she had a miracle baby, that goes to all of the evidence. The act of, that goes directly to that.
I would just like to state again, I guess I can address first the video that you saw. I had mentioned that I had been tortured for the last 5 months. The reason, and I did state that the results of the first round of the prenatal test came back and it showed little to no fetal DNA, which is in fact what was stated to me. This led me, aligned with what I believed, that she is not, in fact, pregnant with me, 5 months pregnant with my twins, which I have questioned the entirety of this time. I have not been able to receive any evidence proving that she's 5 months pregnant with twins. When I requested it, she has not given it to me. We did an early resolution conference last week. The mediator asked for her to make a phone call to the facility. I will present this evidence, the ultrasound photo, to make a call and confirm that she did in fact do that test there. She was not willing to do so. She has not allowed me to speak to any of the doctors that have administered these ultrasounds, which of course has caused me to question her for that very reason. It should be a very simple thing to do. She states that she invited me and my family and I to an ultrasound. For one, my parents live in Missouri. Two, they don't believe her. And three...
Yes, Your Honor, speculation.
Well, they don't.
Go ahead.
Yeah, they don't.
Go ahead.
And beyond that, I actually asked to, I did not want to go in person and see her, but I did ask for her to FaceTime me while she was there. She then canceled that ultrasound and stating that she wanted her sister to be there to see the ultrasound for the first time. So, and then when it was time to reschedule the ultrasound, she then stated, I feel unsafe, and therefore I do not want you to know when I'm doing the next ultrasound because I'm afraid for my safety. So she then did not tell me when she did the next ultrasound, and that, in my opinion, was her way of getting out of being able to FaceTime me while she was there with a doctor. So with all of the time.
So you notice there, the question like I was asking, what would happen if he said yes? Well, he kind of did say yes, didn't he? According to Clayton, he wanted her to FaceTime to prove that it was happening. Again, he just wants proof that it's going on. You don't have to give away who the doctor is, by the way. You're just proving that there's a test going on. It'd be very easy. Oh, yeah, well, I'm here. I'm right now. Bam, look at that. They're rubbing the goo on my belly. Here's the screen. It's very easy to do. So all of that was presented there, again, I think he states it very well in here, to be honest. Without representation, I think he did a good job of saying, again, I have asked for proof. When I ask for proof, or when she is, quote unquote, offered definitive proof, not something she sent me without a layout with her name attached to it, saying that this took place, or when she's been asked to do a phone call to a doctor or a facility, she won't do that. Again, you would think that this right here would be a requirement. Prove you're pregnant. Fucking A, man. You would think that would be before you get into any of it. Again, everything else, it's dependent on that. Otherwise, again, he would have every single right to say, he has the right to say this anyway. In my opinion, he had the fucking right to celebrate not being a dad there, because, my God, he said he feels he's been tortured for 5 months. 5 months of hell. And he's like, look, but there's a lot of stuff that goes on with that. That was all introduced there. So again, he did a fine job without a lawyer present showcasing. Again, no definitive proof. But we've already gotten the I will take your word on it. Why? Because you stood up.
All she has presented to claim that she's pregnant is a visual image of her stomach and a positive HCG test, which that is not enough evidence to prove a viable pregnancy. Under normal circumstances, HCG, yes, that hormone is present whenever an individual is pregnant, but that can be manipulated. The proof that she states that she submitted in prior cases was the same positive HCG test. That was it. There was never an ultrasound or report, or a OBGYN or a doctor willing to corroborate her story. And that has been the case as well. She mentions in the previous cases that they are not exact. And I would state that, sure, they're not exact if we're going to be very specific with our words. But what I can state is she's claiming that she's 5 months pregnant with my twins after we engaged in not sexual intercourse, but oral sex. She's claiming that we engaged in sexual intercourse. I deny that. She performed oral sex on me. There was no penetration. But after one time, she's claiming she's pregnant with twins. And her previous court case, which is publicly accessible, and I accessed the documents, and that's one of the exhibits that I would like to show. She claimed that she became pregnant from an individual after they engaged in sexual intercourse, and she became pregnant with twins. In the court case that I have here as evidence, there's an ultrasound that was sent to the defendant in which she states in the text message that she's pregnant with twins. So considering all of the evidence, I believe that she has engaged in repeated patterns of behavior. And with all of that being said, I do not believe that she's in fact 5 months pregnant with my twins, because I have not been able to receive any evidence of proof that is in fact the case. She would need to have an ultrasound report and a OBGYN or doctor willing to back up those claims, and she has not presented that.
Okay.
So that is my rebuttal to any of that. As far as the harassing messages, I don't believe I'm harassing her. I never did. I stated that if she's lying, she'll be held accountable, and I don't believe that's a threat. She attacked me as a public figure. I had a large following online. I was on reality television, and she decided to open a court case against me, this family court case. She then decided to leak this to the Sun anonymously so she could protect her name. But
objection, Your Honor, speculation.
Yeah, how do you know that? Tell me. You just said she decided to leak this to the Sun.
Yes.
What's the Sun? Is that like a tabloid?
The Sun is a tabloid, and I did not submit the evidence today, but I do have emails and text messages of her. Well, actually, I did actually submit something. She did threaten to go public. Yes, I do actually have an exhibit in here.
Oh.
She threatened multiple times to go public.
Oh, okay, so that would be relevant.
So I can show that. And
well, why don't we see it?
Do you want to see it now?
I think it's important.
Let's see here. Let me go public and see right here. Okay.
Refer to your exhibit number.
This is exhibit 16. I'm going to slide this up on the screen here.
Exhibit 16. They've been renumbered.
Yeah, he submitted a couple exhibits that were numbered the same, and so it's a little. Right. Yeah.
So this is his exhibit 16, but what exhibit would this be on our? You don't know? Hold on. I have. The problem is that there are a lot of exhibits, and we have little time to put them together. So let me find your exhibits.
Yeah, 20 minutes, baby. I mean, it's just your fucking life, right? It's just your life and your reputation, and you being under a freaking order that's going to be picked up in all of these. I mean, but there's a lot of evidence. Well, fuck. You know, God, it irritates me.
Oh my God, quite a few. Yeah. So what's your title on this one?
Threat to go public and shame me.
That's what it says?
Yes.
35.
Okay. Got it.
34 and 35.
34 and 30. Which one? 34 or 35 do I start? Well, he doesn't know.
It's on the screen. I don't know.
Can I turn this around? Oh, let's see.
Yeah, right click on it on your computer.
Oh, thank you. I remember that now. Oh, there it is.
There it is.
I don't want a 7-day trial. Go away. Oh, just go. Won't let me. Okay, but I can.
I don't want a 7-day trial. Ha ha ha, so funny. Ha 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 ha. Like I said, it's just the man's life. Ha ha ha. So witty. So great. Oh, can you just get to the point? He got to the point real fucking fast. You're like, yeah, I'd like to see a little evidence of that. Well, hey, I got a bunch of that. Whoa, there's so much evidence. I don't want a 7-day trial. Oh my God, man. It just fucking infuriates me to hear.
Obviously do this. So let's see. So why don't you lay a foundation for this?
Yes.
Oh, it's right up there.
Yes.
Why don't you lay a foundation?
I saw the memes that came up with him like sideways like that, by the way. It does. It looks like he's looking at some explicit thing. He's like, how do people do that again? It's so strange.
Date, how did you find out about it? Where did you download this image?
Yes.
What day? Give me some context.
Let me see if I can scroll up here. So this is...
I can see it on my screen.
Yeah, it should say the date. I can't see the date from here. But it should be in the top right. So she says in this email...
It just says yesterday, so that's not helpful.
Okay, in this case, this was sent within the last month. As far as the exact date, I don't have it. But it was
within the last month?
Yes, because this is when she probably about a month and a half ago.
Okay.
So she states in here, if you want option A, I will not post this. Option A dealt with a dating stipulation. She said, I'm just looking for support in this incredibly overwhelming time. And so then she states here that she's going to put up a post, the caption, surprise, can't wait for the arrival of these two next Valentine's Day. How she knew she was going to deliver on February 14th is beyond me.
Indeed.
But she stated on a more serious note.
I can read that. I'm just trying to get the context. You've already laid the foundation.
Okay, sorry.
And where did you get this?
This is a screenshot from an email she sent me.
I got you. Okay. So, do you have any objection to me considering this exhibit?
No objection.
Okay, then exhibit 34 and 35. Have you seen 35?
35.
Let's look at 35.
If it's the one, I know it's the one of the posts with the two.
Echard twins coming February 24.
Yes.
All right.
No objection.
Okay, so both of those will be admitted. Okay, I can read them.
Sorry,
if that's okay. But if you want to read them yourself, it's your case. You tell me how you want.
Sorry, I didn't.
You want to read it? You can.
Well, I just wanted to lay some groundwork, but I didn't mean to.
I just closed 34.
I
would like to move over to my video.
Look at it. I mean, if you'd like to, are you really wanting to read that to me? I mean, he's like, well, yeah, I was going to, but I mean, since you seem to have a problem with me reading that to you, Judge, I will. And then you go back to the judge, and he's fucking angled sideways at it. I mean, he's looking at it like it's fucking hieroglyphics or something. I mean, he's like, I see an ankh in there. I mean, you'd think he downloaded a page from the Kama Sutra or something, You mean humans can be like that? No, I mean, it's holy God. Oh man. Again, Clayton offered to read it. He was going to read it to him. And it was just a whole, I don't need you to read that.
All right, let me just read this first, though. Okay. I can't believe I can't do it. This is so lame. Okay.
We do not have a video from
the video, I have a USB drive here.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
Do you have a copy for
Please give that to the clerk in one.
I gave them the copy. I have one, and here's one for you.
that one? Thank you.
Judge Judy still. He's like, I'm not reading. I'm actually stuck like this. Can you help me?
Okay, let me make sure I got all of it because, all right, I got it. All right, so let me just look again at 34. Or 35. I mean. And so what's the context of 35? When did you get this?
That was in the same email.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
And this is from the plaintiff, Ms. Owens?
Correct.
Okay, got it. All right, so what do you want me to see next?
So I'd like to admit this exhibit, if possible. So this is
also part of Exhibit 52 because you put all the videos in one.
53, this is defendant's 53.
So this will be defendant's 53?
Yes.
Okay. Lay some groundwork so they can have a chance to appeal. Okay,
Yes.
what are we going to be looking at here?
So what you're going to see is two screen recordings. The first screen recording is showing my email inbox that this message was sent from Ms. Owens. Within the message, you'll see the ultrasound video that she earlier stated she sent to me. Then the second clip you will see is a screen recording of a YouTube video from 6 years ago. That video contains the exact same video that she sent me. So you will see that these videos are identical, and this ultrasound video that she sent to me is not her ultrasound. It is a ultrasound that she stole online.
And Your Honor, I'm going to object to that because the scope of this hearing is, again, whether they had a domestic relationship and whether there has been domestic violence by Mr. Echard or my client, Ms. Owens. Regarding paternity, regarding her pregnancy and regarding what maybe she sent to him isn't within the scope of this hearing. What this hearing is in regard to is whether, again, they had a domestic relationship and whether he has harassed her by putting things online when there's now a court order forbidding him to post false information.
False information. He's like, yo, look at this. I'm showing side to side. I'm showing this is what she sent me. Here's a YouTube video from 6 years ago that's identical to this. So if I'm responding to this, saying that this is fraud, am I presenting false evidence? Am I presenting, or rather, false information online? Is that me presenting some false narrative? I like how they introduce a bunch of shit, too, that is about this topic. They introduced paternity. They introduced the idea of pregnancy. They put all of this stuff in, and he's like, yo, this isn't real. She's harassing me because this is all fraud. I am not harassing her. She's harassing me. And they're like, no. We can't get into that. That's beyond the scope today.
What he sounds like he's trying to show, again, it doesn't have, that's outside the scope of what this hearing is about.
I will consider your objection in just deciding what weight to give the evidence, but and to some extent, I think there's some validity to what you're saying, but I'm going to give Mr. Echard an opportunity to.
What's the validity? The foundation should be that she's. What the fuck? Like, this is infuriating me. It makes me so mad. They already presented this stuff. He's responding to this. They're like, well, I think there's... What the fuck? Why didn't you have a problem with it before, Your Honor? They opened this door. She introduced emails. He's like, this is what she showed me. This is the context to all of this, plus the context that's underlying everything. Holy crap. And yeah, as far as the DV claim, again, it's predicated on the notion that she's pregnant.
Basically what he's trying to do, and I believe at least, is to show me that this is something that the plaintiff has done before as a way of, somehow benefiting herself. And that, she created this whole situation. And that...
Your idea is not to go in and to define the why. That's also not the scope of what the judge is supposed to be doing here. He's not supposed to be getting into her mindset and saying, why would she do this? Did she do this? It doesn't matter if it seems far-fetched. It doesn't matter. So when he's in the, I don't know why. It doesn't fucking matter. If she was a thrill seeker, this gave her some kind of jolly ruining people's lives. I mean, that's enough. Good God, man. Stuff like that, I mean, it irritates me, though. This stuff irritates, and I can't imagine being Clayton Echard sitting in this. That's the one thing that gets lost sometimes in these cases. Never forget what the person is dealing with.
If whatever he did was some sort of legitimate self-defense to protect his reputation because she threatened his reputation. I believe that's where he's going with this.
No, it's not just your reputation. You're dealing with a like somebody that does this to you, you are dealing with some boil your bunny kind of crazy shit. So he goes far beyond reputation. I mean, that is so outside of it. I would say protecting it, this is about a protective order. It's not about just it's about protecting self. If he's the aggrieved party in this, if he's the one that needs protection from the court.
And so I'm going to decide, I have to decide what weight to give it and whether that outweighs what he's done. But I think it's legitimate to allow him to put that into evidence, so I overrule. Go ahead.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I will play this video again. You can see within here it says ultrasound video approved, and so I will play this video. I'm going to just pause it so I can give context throughout.
All right, remember, we'll do a time check. Oh, you're almost out of time yourself.
Oh, fucking.
This video is...
Oh, well, you're almost out of time to present the evidence that could actually vindicate you. Oh, you can't work within your 20 minutes. This is bullshit. That's not justice either. Justice, we're not talking about a chess match here where we're slapping timers. It takes how long it takes. I mean, he's been pretty thorough on this, and these are everything he's introduced here. It's been necessary. So to be told, oh, you need to hurry it up. Come on, son, hurry it up. It's only your life being played around with. I mean, good God.
This looks like 2 minutes. I do have additional evidence that I feel is important to try to submit. But this is the most important one.
Go ahead, play it.
Okay. So this is showing that this is the email she sent me. She says here is whatever percentage that is, 1,000,000% a real ultrasound video.
And when did you get this?
Does it state on here? This was probably within last month. Oh, it should say out there on at the top right. Maybe.
You have it on your computer. Can you magnify the view?
Let me pull it up. Oh, it's going to pull up the same one. Yeah, let me pull it over here.
Or even just look at the information, get info on the file.
This is Friday, October 6th. Yeah, it says October 6th.
All right, and is that about when you received this?
Yes.
Okay.
So this just shows that this was sent from her, and I just pulled out that, her contact info.
Okay.
Now what's going to show, this is the ultrasound video. I want to highlight you'll see, it'll say baby A, baby B, and placenta, and that's important. Again, I want to focus, here's baby B, then placenta pops up, and then it says baby A. And so again, I just want to show that this video, it shows B again, and this is the video that she sent me and claims to be 1,000,000% her ultrasound. Then it shows A. And then it comes here, it shows B and A again. And this is the end of the video. Should be right about here.
Okay.
Okay, so that is what she sent me directly to my email stating that was her ultrasound. Now this is a screen recording from a YouTube video that I found of a video that is what I believe to be the exact same video.
All right, now, how can you connect this video with the plaintiff? You have to do that first. It can't just be if someone that you just found on YouTube and you're saying it's the plaintiff, but you can't prove it's the plaintiff.
It's not saying it's the plaintiff, holy Jesus. It's saying that she's committing fraud. She went on YouTube, she found a fucking video, and she used it. You ain't got to anyone access to the internet. She has the interwebs, Your Honor. You know, that internet thingy that you stare at sideways during your court trials. Holy God. How does it connect to her?
Yeah. I'm stating that this is not, this video that I just showed you.
Let me speak first. Go ahead.
The video that I just showed you is within this video. She took that ultrasound video.
She used the exact same video.
Correct.
But I'm not an obstetrician.
Oh, that's great.
How am I going to be able to tell that?
I think with the video you can see it's the exact same, and it even says baby A, baby B, placenta. It's all.
Did you put baby A, baby B on the first one that I saw?
That was already on there.
That was already on there?
Yes.
Oh, all right. So, okay. So how do you know, besides the fact that this baby A, baby B, how did you connect? How did you find an ultrasound and connect it with the plaintiff?
I was searching online because I did not believe it was her ultrasound.
Did you search under her name?
How
did you search?
So this I was actually tipped off, and this was eventually sent to me because I do have a large following, and they then shared this video that was online, that found its way online, because she did send this to the press. She sent that video to other people.
Objection. Your Honor, may I make a record?
Yeah.
It already sounds like this has been available to other people. It was sent some way. I'm questioning now the authenticity of this video. I don't think that this is admissible for evidence. I don't think he's laid enough foundation.
See, look at it. He's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, look, like this is infuriating right here. Oh, well, it's online, and there's a fucking YouTube video. Oh, my God, it's there. You can see he's like, what the fuck is going on?
For this, it's confusing about how he got in contact with this video. Apparently, my client sent him something, and I just don't think this should be admitted. And if it is admitted, then I think that the court should give this very little weight.
Did you publish the first video, the one she sent you? Did you publish that online somewhere?
I did not.
Did you?
It was sent to the press.
By who?
By me. But it was not the same video that was sent to Clayton. I sent him a sonogram, and I sent the press a sonogram.
Well, but the only thing that bothers me is he did make an objection that it has some validity here, and that is that you're not the one that downloaded the second video, and so it could be that they just downloaded the same video and told you that it was from years ago to some other person, and so that's legitimate. That's a legitimate objection. How can you connect? How can you prove, first of all, that this where the second video was obtained, and how can you connect it with her other than the fact that it has the same markings?
Yeah.
And how can you assure me that you're...
You like how stories just change, like in the middle of everything. She's like, well, the press, yeah, oh, okay. All right, I mean, mid-hearing. But Judge Duty doesn't pick up on that.
The follower didn't just send you the same video that we just watched and said, oh, this is from something that Miss Owens posted years ago in another case. How do we know that?
Okay. Yes. So the reason I screen recorded the first part was to show you that she sent that. That came from her email.
I got it.
So that video she sent me directly. This video is, I wanted to show, that this is a YouTube video. You can find this on YouTube right now. And so it's publicly available. But she claims that this is her video. This video is 6 years old.
How do you know that?
Because it says that it was posted 6 years ago on YouTube. It shows that when it was posted.
Your Honor, again, I want to object because in any ultrasound or even like a sonogram, for example, they're going to look very similar. I don't know how, by just viewing something like this, it's going to show.
You can overlay. Oh my God.
Show one way or the other.
He's saying that the markings are the same now. But that could be because what she sent to the press is something that, you know what, I think I'm going to sustain the objection.
That is a bunch of bullshit. He just gave foundation for it. He's like, look, this is a 6-year-old video that is posted on YouTube. You look at it, it's the exact same video that she posted. That was not her posting the 6 years ago. That is someone else. She's sending this out claiming this is hers. These are the same videos. Therefore, not a complicated scenario. But you notice this fucking judge can't follow that simple logic. That should have burned her. She should have been required some proof.
For lack of foundation. But I'm going to admit the fact that the defendant at least believes that this video from his follower is truly a representation of a video that the plaintiff sent because of the markings are the same, and he believes his follower who took it off of YouTube. And he says that he checked YouTube himself and verified it. So that shows his state of mind for what it's worth. Okay, but I'm going to take your word for it that this video is going to look the same as the other one.
I'm going to take your word for it. I'm going to. What?
So, but you won't admit it, but would you still watch it? Would you still watch it or no?
Your Honor,
no. If he objected, and I'm sustaining the objection.
So you won't even look at it. Like, that is frustrating as hell.
I have to be consistent with that. But I'm going to let this. I'm going to basically say that you're basically saying that there are other videos out on YouTube that I believe are from another case, and that's.
It's not another case, dipshit. It has nothing to do with her. He didn't say that. He's just added in all this. He's saying there's no context to this. He added context that Clayton did not note. He's saying there's a lack of foundation. He's laying in this. Where the fuck did he pull this Peter Pan make-believe bullshit from? I have no idea. I mean, maybe that's what happens when you read things sideways. I'm not sure. Maybe that's like backmask tapes back in the day, you know? If you look at it sideways, it'll play a secret message. It'll say, really, from Laura. I don't know what it's about. I don't get it. It drives me nuts.
You know, that's something I considered in what I'm doing.
Okay.
All right. I mean, so I will not allow it at this time. So is there anything else that you want to say you're out of time to?
Well, so it should be my turn to cross them out.
No. You know, you're out of time.
Oh.
You used your time, and I'm not sure it was efficient. Mr. Echard, is there anything else that you absolutely need to show?
Yes, there is one last piece of evidence.
All right, so what is this going to show? This is what we call an offer of proof.
Okay.
All right, I want you to focus on my question to you.
Yes.
What is this going to show me? Just tell me what it's going to show and say, and where did you, that kind of.
Absolutely. So this is another screenshot of a email she sent me on Friday, asking me to meet up with her. This was after she filed for an order of protection.
Oh, okay.
So I question why and also she got this order of protection after I filed for an injunction against harassment. So the reason I want to present this is to show that she does not feel threatened. The reason why she got the order of protection was to try to silence me. And if she was feeling threatened, she would not ask me to meet up with her. And that's what this piece of evidence shows.
Okay. I want you to know that a person doesn't have to. Basically, what they're doing is they're coming on a harassment theory, and you don't have threatened. You can feel threatened. That is one way to feel harassed, but it's also seriously alarmed, annoyed.
Annoyed. You notice that. Another way to feel harassed is to feel annoyed. Man, mofos annoy me all day long. All day long. I could show you some of the craziest shit. Sometimes I used to make jokes about the letters I would receive. Because if you have any public facing, like you get stuff that is just a wild stuff. And annoyed? That's going to allow, I realize under the law, there are other stipulations that come in that we're, anyway.
Or I have a statute here. Where is it? Anyway. So that's not the only way to be harassed.
I understand.
But in any event, I will consider this. So what is this email? You received this on Friday, okay. What exhibit is this, by the way?
He said, I'll consider it, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in any way, shape, or form whatsoever. Again, Echard is saying she's harassing me. She's harassed me for months. She's put this stuff out into the media. She sent me these false, quote-unquote, proof. She won't do anything to verify that this stuff is real. And now, if I speak about anything, she's going out of her way to silence me by filing this. But she still wants to do meetups and whatnot.
Well, I have it as Exhibit 35, but I don't know if it got.
How did you label it? You had good labels on it.
Laura asked me to come to sonogram.
Your Honor, I continue to object.
51. Okay, counsel, just a second. I'm trying to, first of all, figure out what exhibit he's talking about. So Exhibit 51. All right, and this is he's already laid a foundation saying this is an email from her to him on Friday. What's your objection?
Your Honor, we were only given 20 minutes. She's now 28 minutes here. I haven't gotten a chance to, and if I'm not going to get a chance.
So it's a time objection. I'll consider your objection in determining how much time to give you, if any. But I'm going to watch it overruled. Okay, if that's your only objection. Go ahead. So I can look that up right now myself, just looking on my computer. All right, so this was sent last Friday, which was October 19th. Is that right?
Yes.
All right, and the order of protection was served on October 17th. So, okay, got it. So I've looked at it. She sent you an email, and the terms of the order of protection are that, as far as contact terms, only through legal counsel, only in court proceeding, and through electronic mail, only regarding matters pertaining to the paternity. Okay, well, this probably falls within that, so I'm not sure how much traction this gets you, but I admitted it, and I've considered it. I'll decide what way to give it. Okay, all right. I will give you 2 minutes to cross-examine. That's about how much time I gave him. So.
Okay. You admit that you had sexual relations with Miss Owens. Is that correct?
Oral sex was with one, yes.
Okay. And she's allowed to make a pregnancy announcement if she so chooses. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. She specifically emailed you regarding that she wanted to go to the press. Is that correct?
She is.
Okay. And you emailed back saying that she could essentially go to the press. Is that correct?
Not entirely. She had threatened me multiple times to go to the press, and when I realized that
Yes or no question.
I said towards the end that she's going to go for it.
Didn't you specifically say, I'm unbothered by it all going public, in an email to her on about September 17th, 2023?
Yes.
Okay.
So essentially, it's like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Fucking go for it then. Oh, so you said that. You said that. That's what we just heard. Yeah. Oh, well, you were like, okay, you gave consent. You're like, fucking bring it then. But you're not supposed to be able to say anything back. Nothing at all.
Isn't it true that the period for a pregnancy is 40 weeks?
Period of about 9 months.
Just full gestation?
40 weeks, 9 months is what I'm aware of.
Okay. And so from May of 2023 to February of 2024, that's when she could expect to have her children. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. You did make those posts online, correct? That we previously showed in the exhibits?
So her day, oh, well, she could expect to have it on Valentine's Day, right? She's going to have a V-Day, baby. She just, that day, that totally makes sense, right?
Yes.
And you were made known by Laura that was disturbing her peace because she was getting harassed by what she felt was you and third parties.
I made those posts to protect my reputation.
Okay. But you did know that her peace was being disturbed. Is that correct?
So the posts that she made, or all of this stuff that's disturbing his peace, doesn't matter, right? It's fucking wild.
I don't understand why you're asking me this question. I was defending myself, and I was not going after her.
Did she communicate to you that her peace was being disturbed?
At some point, probably.
Okay. And so you were on notice that she was receiving harassing messages, correct?
Yes.
And she actually allowed you to appear on FaceTime at one of her doctor's appointments. Is that correct?
That is false.
Okay. She didn't allow you to appear on FaceTime?
No.
Okay.
She was going to hire actors.
Isn't it true that you said that you wouldn't appear on FaceTime because you thought that you would hire actors to pretend to be doctors?
No, that's false.
I have an attorney who said that.
Your Honor, no further questions at all.
Okay, all right. Mr. Echard, I want to give you, you wanted to fully explain one of your answers, and you said it's a yes or no, so I'm going to give you a chance to fully explain that answer if you want to.
Yeah, can you just remind me what that question was again? Sorry, it was kind of a brush. Which question was that about?
I honestly can't recall. There was.
You can't even recall what was talked about. Oh no! I don't remember what you guys were talking about. I don't remember any of the questions, pro or con. But I'm going to decide whether or not you get logged down and are able to do anything whatsoever. Awesome.
There was. Let's see.
I was trying to do it quick. I only had 2 minutes.
I don't know. Is there anything else that you want me to know? I didn't make a note of it, so apparently I didn't think it was all that important.
Yeah, I just want to make note that again, you had mentioned it earlier, but what I've been trying to do is prove that I've been trying to protect my image. Not once have I mentioned her on social media by name. her name got out there because she opened this court case against me, and that's how it made its way online. So not once have I tried to harass her. She's been you could say maybe she's been harassed by my audience, but that is out of my control as I'm a public figure. What I have done is I have tried to protect my reputation, and the videos that we saw today was me doing so. I've lost thousands of dollars now because of this accusation. Everything that I do is reputation-based. Real estate, speaking on mental health around the country. I train clients online, and I have evidence. I was not able to get to it today, but I have evidence proving I am losing money because of these claims. And so
that's not really relevant.
Okay, so
that's not relevant. The damage done to you, the real world, you actually taking monetary damage, that doesn't matter today at all. Nice to know.
I just, at the end of it,
I'm going to object now. He was given like a minute to answer the question.
Counsel, sum up in 10 seconds.
Yes. Considering the case of harassment, again, I do not believe that I am the aggressor. I believe she is, and I think that it's baseless that she has presented this to try to put an order of protection against me.
Okay. All right. Let me consider the evidence here.
Your Honor, will my client have an opportunity to speak again? Are we going to be able to make a closing? Mm-hmm. I think there's things that are unaddressed that he's clearly gotten more time to speak during this hearing, I think.
Okay. I don't agree. I think that, I balanced efficiency versus the time that was given, and that's my determination. So the answer is no. I gave both of you more time than was allotted, and the differences are de minimis.
Somebody asked, was this the video I was reviewing yesterday? Yes. This is what we're going through there. So again, I think it is very important. Apparently, again, for whatever reason, Neil, that's important to me. It allowed me to go in, and I believe that we present as much as possible. Again, I wish we could cover every fucking court document that ever pops up. That's the way I think you cover a court case, personally. You cover every single document. All of them are available. Everything is out there. That's one of the problems with playing catch up too, is that there are a lot of documents out there. But we present as much, and I think this is a very important hearing. It is being referenced over and over again in filings too. So I think us going over this, I think it's not just watching a court hearing, which I do think the hearings are important on their own, just by themselves. But this has relevance in the now and going forward. It's not just a lens back when. So yeah, this was the video. And again, that's the reason I think we should definitely know it. He's like, watch me. I'm reviewing. As long as he reviews.
The plaintiff on the internet. The one, it's Exhibit 11.
No, I did not.
But it says that this post was posted by the one and only Jen. Do you know who that person is?
I do not.
And it was taken down by the moderators of our Bachelor Nation. Is that the program that you were on, the Bachelor program?
I was on the ABC The Bachelor, yes.
Okay.
And Your Honor, if you're just addressing Exhibit 11, it has to do with the sonogram.
Yeah, because only he was sent that sonogram image. There was nobody else who had it, so it had to be him, and it was within hours of when I sent it to him.
Exhibit 11 is not a sonogram.
Exhibit 11 has a sonogram that in the costume, it has one that I'm supposedly holding. If you look at my hands, it has a sonogram that only he had. That's why I know it was him posting it.
But your lawyer argued that was something that looks the same. It's so small that I can't. Well, maybe I can.
It wasn't the video that looks the same. This was actually a sonographic image that I sent to Clayton because I was concerned about the baby's profile, and that's why I also found it just really offensive that he would agree.
How do you know that this is the sonogram that you sent him, though?
I have evidence that I sent him that sonogram. He knows I sent him that sonogram, and I have it in an email.
Yeah, but how do you know that this is the sonogram that you sent him? I'm looking at the one that's in the image on exhibit. The one that's in the exhibit.
So see, he sent to no one else. It has to be him. He has to be running the account named Jen. Again, he is having a random account attributed to him. I would love if the person that did that actually would be like, nah, that was actually me. I did it. You know, I would love to see that.
11. How do you know that that's the sonogram that you sent him?
Because I sent him an email with that exact sonographic image because the profile is really distinct because it doesn't look like the baby even has a nose in it, and that's why I sent it to him within hours.
But didn't her lawyer just say that all sonograms look the same? Wasn't that the argument that he used to shoot down Clayton actually being able to bring in something? Well, all sonograms they're the same. Like how can you tell the difference? So suddenly we can tell the difference between sonograms again? That's amazing. Isn't it amazing how shifty this shit is too? Like, depending on who's arguing there. It's sonograms, they're uniquely identifiable. Oh, wait a minute. No. Those two there, that video from 6 years ago and this one, you can't tell the difference because sonograms, they all look the same. Okay. Interesting.
Within hours before that. Nobody else had that because I was concerned about a genetic defect, and I would not have sent that to anybody. That's 100% the same image.
Did you receive a sonogram from her?
Yes, I did.
All right. Is this your photo on Exhibit 11, the lady whose image, she's got hair and she's pregnant? Is that you?
That's me.
How do you, all right. Did you send him a
She's got hair?
Yes.
That lady that's got hair? Is that you? Well, that's very identifiable. Holy shit, a woman with hair, it's got to be her. Oh, man.
No, I'm not talking about the sonogram. You said that you know that this is you.
Yes, I
from him because it's got the sonogram.
Yeah.
But more importantly, you said...
So did the person come through? Somebody said they thought that the person that posted that did come forward on Reddit. Like I said, that would be a detail that if I've been told that, I don't remember. So is that confirmed? Did the person that did that? You know, more importantly, I would hope they would come forward and have talked to Clayton's team too, you know. And I'm curious about that. Did they? Oh, yeah. Okay. See, that's fascinating. That's interesting.
Send him this picture of you with your body displayed like that.
Yeah.
And you didn't send that to anybody else?
No.
And you're saying the sonogram is the same as well?
Sonogram is exactly the same.
All right. So her testimony is that this picture on Exhibit 11, and that's what I thought you said.
Yeah.
But now you're focusing on the sonogram, which kind of is a distraction almost. But I get it. You're saying that that's how it was posted with someone holding a sonogram.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's you in that picture because that's the picture you sent to him.
Yeah.
All right. Do you admit or deny that? Did she send you this picture of her on Exhibit 11 where she, was wearing stretch pants, a bra, and her hair was there and she was pregnant? Did she send you that picture?
Yes, she did send that image.
All right.
I did not, though, post it online.
How do you account for the fact that it's online?
She must have sent it to somebody else. She was sending stuff to the press.
Right. Did you send this photo to the press?
I did not.
Okay. Did you send it to anybody? You're under oath.
No, I did not. And this
just to Mr. Echard, right?
Just to him, yes.
Okay.
May I make a counter to that?
You've denied it. That's a matter of record. But go ahead.
I do know she made a Google Drive available for people to access, and I believe that picture was within that Google Drive. She did make a Google Drive act for people to access.
She denies that, though. Okay, but you say that it's there, so, and we don't have it in
right, correct.
That photo was not there. I was wearing a leopard sports bra in that photo. It was not this photo.
Did you publicly post a picture of yourself that's similar to this?
Not that was similar to this, no.
I'm asking her a question.
Oh, yeah, that's why I stopped.
So,
it was never publicly posted. It was within a Google Drive that 10 people accessed. But it was not
10 people accessed it. So she didn't post it publicly online. She just posted it in a Google Drive that 10 people, those are the 10 originals she admits to, that 10 people did access. Now, who are those people? Well, so we've gone from nope, nothing similar, nope, absolutely not, nope, wasn't posted where anyone could find it. Oh, by the way, yeah, multiple people did access this.
like this, no.
How was it different?
I was wearing a completely different outfit, and I was I wasn't as far along. I had to submit it to the press to prove that I was pregnant.
So you gave it to the press?
But not this photo.
Oh, I see, okay.
He was the only one that had this photo.
Oh my goodness. All right.
He's got to count his fingers and make sure he still has 5. There's the third one. Yep, they're all dead.
Check something.
He's going to look at it. Now he's looking online to make sure that a normal person has 5 fingers.
There are 2 of them back there. Either one of them has clips that's on my credenza behind my desk. Because it'll take me a long time to figure out which. The way domestic violence is defined here, it's in a statute that.
If I may, it's just in regard to the law, what I think applies here. Under the domestic statute.
Under what statute?
ARS section 133601. it specifically indicates what domestic violence means.
Right.
And it lists, call it about 20 different ways it can be viewed. And there's
Exactly. That's kind of where I was going, but you said you wanted to interject. So, okay, go ahead. You're right so far.
Okay, so I just wanted to just list four that I think like are applicable in this case. So,
Which ones do you think apply?
What the shit, dude? So he's like, hey, will you do the research for me and define how this law is actually applied? Oh, okay. Take his word on it.
ARS 13-2904.
2904?
That's correct. That's disorder. That should be disorderly conduct. And then three more, which are ARS section 13-2916, ARS section 13-2921, and then possibly ARS section 13-2921.01. That's just all I wanted to inform the court about.
All right. So tell me, I could pull all these statutes, but what is 2916, Robert?
So I could actually do the groundwork and look these up myself, but briefly, can you tell me, can you define what they say?
Briefly.
2916, just one moment. Use of an electronic communication to terrify, intimidate, threaten, or harass.
Right. I prepared for this hearing yesterday after my calendar was over, and I looked at the petition and I thought, well, which statutes are probably going to be in play? And so I made copies of them, and I did make a copy of that one. And I also made a copy of course, 2921, which is the harassment. So 29, these are all, as he said, in the criminal code, they define domestic violence as any violation of the following statutes, and they're all criminal statutes. And so these are what I call predicate statutes. One of them is 29, ARS 13 is the criminal code. 13-2921 is the harassment statute that's applicable to domestic violence per se. There are other definitions of harassment elsewhere, but they don't apply to this. Then another predicate offense is ARS 13, again, the criminal code. 2916, which is use of an electronic communication to terrify, intimidate, threaten, or harass, and so on. And so, okay, I got that one. So what is the other statute that you want me to, let's see, 2916, got that, that's terrorist. 2921, we already talked about that, that's harassment. And what's 2921.01?
That was a possibility, but that has to do with, let me just...
I got the ARS page in front of you too. It's aggravated harassment. That's just like if a person has already been convicted of it and they do it again, then they can be convicted of aggravated harassment. Or they violated an order of protection.
And to be forthcoming, Your Honor, I don't believe that we were able to get in the evidence that would have shown that one. So I believe the ones that most comply are the first three that I gave you.
I see.
Am I able to ask a question?
Just a second, I'm trying to figure this case out.
To confirm that they.
And then they publish that kind of thing. You were wearing different clothes, but you.
Sorry about that. Guess I'll let it run. I was going to jump it forward, but it keeps jumping crazy.
When you sent the images to the press, that's similar to this one. Only I realized you were at a different stage in your pregnancy and you were wearing different clothes, but you still showed basically your belly. Right. Did you, when you sent it to the press, didn't you know that they could publish that?
They swore to me it was to page 6, and they swore to me they were not going to publish anything that it was.
So it was page 6. Page fucking 6. By the way, I did get Megan's text. And yeah, like people were discussing too, there has indeed, so the person that that posted that, they did indeed come forward. So that's actually quite fascinating. You know, again, not Clayton Echard. But even here, I mean, there's enough, that raises some serious doubt. Oh, well, page 6 told me that they won't. It's the media, when you send them items, that if you have a relationship with someone and they're building a case, you know, like they're building something, they may withhold something, but they won't necessarily do that, you know. So the idea that they told you they wouldn't, it's a bunch of garbage. And considering, again, you know, we've gone from, nope, no one has access. People do have access. People are swearing they won't publish. Page 6 is an outlet like, I don't want to call them a tabloid because they actually do some, they're more like a celebrity focused outlet, I guess is better. You know, I hate to say it because I'll call the Sun a tabloid. And page 6 has done some actual research and articles that they put up, depending on who's there. But that's who page 6 is. So, you know, when she brings up page 6, like if you look them up, they cover all kinds of celebrity stories, you know. And sometimes they don't get it right. They like to do exclusives, though. And when they're doing exclusives, you know, I imagine there are a lot of people that are connected with that, again, I don't know who covered that case, so I'm careful in saying that person would indeed do something. But just as far as an outlet like that's concerned anyway, I mean, any press, you can't take that on their word, but especially a celebrity-focused outlet that likes to do exclusives like that, you know, oh, break-in, got this one.
To confirm that that I was indeed pregnant. But yeah, it was a different image. It was earlier on in the pregnancy.
Did you give them permission to publish that image?
No, and I made sure that I had been writing from them that they were not going to publish it, and they didn't in any of their stories or anything.
Did you give Mr. Echard permission to publish this image in Exhibit 11?
No.
Not the ultrasound, but
No.
You've got it in writing? Do you have proof of that? Oh, wait a minute. We're not asking for proof. We're just going to take your word on it, right? Just like so many other things. Okay. And even if you did, I mean, again, if you sent it to them, if they said, nah, I'm not going to do that. If they did, you sent it to them. So, I don't. When I think journalists, there are certain journalists. Again, like if Megan Fox said, "Hey, you talk to me in confidence," she's good to go. She's solid. Doesn't burn people like that. Like, yeah, I don't consider myself a journalist in any way, shape, or form. I don't even like the word because there's so many scumbags out there. Independent journalists are fine, but no. But I still do not believe in doing that. But the fucking that they do it all the time. But it still goes back on the stories. Oh, well, by the way, nobody could have done this. Oh, wait a minute.
All right. I'm going to find that the plaintiff has met her burden. One of the predicate offenses here is ARS 13-1425, which is unlawful disclosure of images. The statute is really targeted toward people who send pictures of one another nude or and then they publish.
So he's based this on the idea that Clayton Echard posted that. That's what he's telling you. He's like, and the statute is really about more revenge porn. So, items like that.
Publish that kind of thing. But then there's also the second under ARS 13-1425A2. It's the photo is such that it captures the person, the depicted person who has a reasonable expectation of privacy. And then that's the first sentence. The second sentence, evidence that a person has sent an image to another person using an electronic device does not on its remove the person's reasonable expectation of privacy for that image. And so, I'm looking at the context of this. There was a not only whether she was pregnant with your child, but also whether she was pregnant at all. And she sent this image to you saying that this was her. Testified that is her image. And that hasn't been disputed. And so you're the only person that she sent it to. I realize it's possible that she could have sent it to somebody else who could have published it. That's true. But she denies that.
See, what a bunch of bullshit. Well, I realize that this could have happened. I realize. Wait, I got to keep coming.
My booze that keep me up. This booze.
Oh, here, let me give you this. There you go.
This booze that keep me wake up.
Yeah, okay. Well, hey, go lay down. I'm almost done with this, okay? Go lay down for a minute.
Can you make popcorn after?
Maybe. We'll talk about it, okay? It depends on what time it is. It's pretty late. She took a nap. She fell asleep earlier. That's why she's so, All right, anyway, here we go. Man,
this depiction not only showed her, but it was poking fun at her. And it does seem you had a connection with it because that it does say somehow it connects her to this picture because it was connected to the Bachelor website, saw that. And also it's this idea of this show holding a fake sonogram, or let's see, I have to move the statute out of the way and look at the image again. It was something like making fun of the sonogram, saying, this is all, not true.
Okay, so I just looked up something because I was curious about this. So The Bachelor in February 22nd, 2024. I realize not the same time, but just to make an argument here. The Bachelor ratings. Malta episode hit season high of 5.9 million viewers after 3 days. So, people that watch The Bachelor, there's millions of people that watch The Bachelor. They could potentially be online doing something that, again, there were multiple sources that ended up with this item. There could be millions of potential people that were interested in this, that could have done that. But somehow it boils down to Clayton, because take her word. Even though he makes the argument that, well, it might have not been you, but because it could have gone to someone else, but she denies that.
real sonogram. Unbrushed wig. I mean, you know, the hair is similar, I guess, to the hair that she has. So I'm going to find that posting of that image, publicizing that image, was triggered the the domestic violence statute 133601 does include the cite to ARS 1425. I'm going. Statute applies, and that is the reason I'm affirming that. Oh, and there's an intent that has to be shown as well, and the intent. Just the act of disclosing it is unlawful. So that
again. So he's saying, I apologize for lags. I don't know if that's in Dropbox or I'm glad it didn't lag through the whole thing.
I mean, those aren't exactly what you said, but let me just get the exhibit back up again. You said in particular.
See, the image is not mocking her being pregnant. That's the other thing that is so deceptive about this. It's mocking the notion that it's fake. People don't just go around mocking pregnant women like that just to fuck all, you know? The whole case, there was a reason behind that. And the whole reason behind it was because... Exactly.
Let me go back to her exhibits. Exhibit 1.
Your Honor, am I able to ask a question?
Just a moment, please. Let me just make my record, and then, if you can. I'm really... I'm not an appropriate person to ask questions of, but I'll listen to your question, but give me a moment to get this out.
Okay.
The fucking lawyer is set over there and defined the law to the judge so they could find a reason to find him guilty. And he's like, well, can I ask a question? I'm not an appropriate person to really ask anything.
The bottom of the string says, I hate you right now. But there was something here. You better be serious about being pregnant, because if you're not, I'm bringing this all to light. People like you need to be held accountable. You can back off now if this is all a game, and I'll let it go. But if you continue any longer and it's all a lie, I won't hesitate to reveal the truth. One thing about me is when I make up my mind for good, especially when it's rooted in anger, I don't sway ever.
Oh, duty.
Individuals like you that play with people's emotions are the worst kind of person I've met. Many have been taken advantage of by many, and I'm sick and tired of playing nice with them. My hate is toward you and to you only. My hatred would only grow if you decide to put me through all this. I mean, on the one hand, I think it's legitimate to question whether she was pregnant. I think it's legitimate to question whether, even if she is pregnant, whether it's your child. But there are ways of dealing with that.
Oh, fuck all that. See, again, this pisses me off. You're not obligated to nicety. He's saying, I am being tormented here. And if you are faking, you are lying, you will be held accountable there. And I am singular in my determination of that. Fucking A, man. I mean, that is so disgusting. It's not about, he's already asked about pregnancy. He's already done that. Holy shit. You can't even tell a fucking, you can't even tell somebody that if they're lying, you're going to hold them accountable?
And that would be, going through the paternity case and proving, making her, it's her burden. She has to prove that she's pregnant with your child in order for you to be legally responsible for that child.
Yeah, just welcome to fucking months and months and months of torment and hell and her dodging everything. And welcome to hundreds of thousands of fucking dollars in cost and your reputation being tattered. You can't say a word. You need to shut up and you need to make sure that you're just Mary Poppins nice. Ugh, fuck all that. These people would never play by those same rules. They would never do the same thing that they say.
That's the way to handle it. It's
sermonized.
It's a common denominator in every order of protection that's affirmed, is that people have sometimes really legitimate feelings and rights, like I feel you do. But at the same time, they go about it. They go about vindicating those rights by taking matters into their own hands and using self-help remedies instead of dealing with it through the courts like you're supposed to. And that's where you went wrong. Not that you had your feelings about, questioning this or thinking that it was a fake or that kind of thing are illegitimate. You can think those things if it sounds like...
You just don't have the right to say it. Oh, wait, yeah, you're supposed to, right? You're supposed to have the right to freeze me. Again, he didn't make a threat. He wasn't like, I'm gonna burn your life down and fuck you over, any of that. He wasn't doing that. What he said is, if this is fake, you'll be held accountable. And I'm singular in my focus. That's it. That's insane. That gets you a... Oh my God. I've seen people denied orders for some nasty shit. I've seen... with Megan, we've talked about like kids not being heard and in court cases and all this other insanity. They're not protected. But you're protected against being exposed.
Like you might have had some reason to think that. But
still does.
The way you published this photo, which is what I found, I know that you've denied it. But I'm finding that there's really no other accounting for it except if she posted it, and I don't think a woman would have done that in a situation like this. Not any person wouldn't have done that. If I before I went on a diet and I took a picture and sent it to somebody, I wouldn't want that picture. It's unflattering. I wouldn't want it.
But if you sent your picture of you on a diet to your friend there and to all, the media, and 10 other people access that one person is accountable. Fascinating.
Focus on a woman here.
Yeah, I told you, these people, they have no idea how any of the technology they talk about works.
But this is something that most humans don't want to have unflattering pictures of themselves posted all over the internet. And so that's my reason for making my decision. And and the intent is proven by Exhibit 1. And I also find that that's a violation. By doing that you violated ARS 13 the harassment statute, ARS 13-2921A. One and 3, which is causes of communication with another person by verbal, electronic, mechanical, telegraphic, and so on, and written means. And another one is surveys or causes another person to survey the person. I think that is... Oh
no, she delivered. Oh my God, she delivered. Oh no, the baby's here.
When they survey, may have to be in person. It's not. That term can mean following somebody. It could mean following them and harassing them online. I mean, today, harassment online is just as bad almost as bad, possibly worse in some cases, where, they can be magnified.
See, and again, you are supposed to be, in domestic violence, you are supposed to be protected against people following, stalking, and all of that. But this is not that. This is not that at all.
By a large public following. That's something that I think, to me at least, just looking at the regular word survey, it doesn't have to say publicly survey as it does, and like subsection A2, for example, that requires public, that you're following another person in or about a public place after being asked to stop. That doesn't apply here, but I think subsection 3 does, because it doesn't have those limitations about being in public or in person, really. And then I'm also, counsel had suggested that ARS 132916 is applicable. Use of an electronic communication to terrorize a person. This one I'm not sure. Let me look at it.
Yeah, look at Clayton. That's exactly it right there. That's exactly it right there. That's the reason that he needs to have this case. No settlement, no nothing. No nothing. Because of that right there.
I do not find that applies. If one of the subsections, hold on, there's one other thing. I'm looking at 2916, the terrify, intimidate, harass statute, A, subsection 4. It's unlawful for a person to knowingly terrify, intimidate, threaten, or harass a specific person or persons by doing any of the following. I don't think 1 through 3 apply. But subsection 4 might. So let me read it. Without the person's consent and for the purpose of imminently causing the person unwanted physical contact, injury, or harassment by a third party, like a following, for example. Use an electronic communication device to electronically distribute, publish, email, hyperlink, and make available for downloading the person's personal identifying information, including a digital image of the person, and the use does, in fact, incite or produce that unwanted physical contact, injury, or harassment. This paragraph also applies to a person who intends to terrify, intimidate, threaten, or harass an immediate family member of the person whose personal identifying information is used. I don't find that the last sentence applies. There's no evidence that he intended to terrify or intimidate or harass her family, although that might have been the effect of it. I don't think that.
Holy shit. Oh, it could have been the effect. He could have terrified and harassed and intimidated her family, too.
That he had that intent, but I think that he had the intent to do that to you. And so I'm going to find that another applicable statute, which is another predicate in ARS 133601, is ARS 132916A4. And so those are the reasons for my ruling. Brady does not apply because, as my understanding is, the parties never lived together, right?
Yes, we did not.
So that's required by Brady. So you're not going to lose your gun rights. But obviously you want to be really careful with how you use those. And you've never threatened, personally told her that you're going to harm her. It's just that this, it's almost like you can summon a tsunami with your followers, according to her testimony. Does the plaintiff want, I'm going to answer, I know you have a question, so I'm going to give you a chance to ask it. But before I get there, I want to find out from you, is there anything that you want me to do to modify the order of protection?
I think, we can still have communication about paternity. My main concern with him is just that he's going to be posting untrue things that are going to cause people to harass me.
See, right there. So she still wants communication with him. He is just not allowed to answer anything publicly as items play out. Right there. She still wants a bridge for communication, private communication there. He is just not allowed to ever defend himself, because defending yourself publicly is harassment.
I'm not afraid he's the one to physically harm me. My concern is more that, but I still think we need to talk about the paternity case because we're both unrepresented in that.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I think that the order of protection itself is broad enough to encompass this idea of continuing to incite people to bother you.
That is such a broad idea. The incitement. What is inciting exactly? I mean, Jesus. So he's allowed to still be communicated with. He's still, the harassment he's undergoing is allowed to continue. But he's not allowed to answer anything publicly. He's fucked up.
And so I choose not to put anything on there because it would be really difficult to write. Why? There are First Amendment concerns here that I don't want to say, don't tell any of your followers anything about your situation with Laura Owens. Well, I'm not sure that that's probably overbroad. But I would be working probably futilely to find the right balance of language here. So I'm just going to leave it. All right, so I'm not going to amend the order of protection. Okay? All right, now, Mr. Echard, you had a question for me. I would, let me just finish this form, and then I'm going to be glad to try to at least answer your question. Go ahead.
I'm okay to ask?
Yes.
Okay.
And thank you for waiting patiently.
My understanding is that this order is going to into effect because the belief is that I was the only one that had access to that photo. If I'm able to prove, which I believe I can prove, that she has sent it to someone else, am I able to get an extension before this ruling?
No.
Because I do believe I can prove that she sent this to other individuals.
Okay.
So what would I guess my question is, how do I go about, because my understanding is that's what this is hinging on, and I do believe that I can get credible evidence that she sent this to another individual. So if I'm able to get my hands on that, would that not reverse the ruling?
No. Well, first of all, I'm going to rule now. I do not. This is the time for the hearing, and these are, this is. I don't think it's appropriate here to hold the case open until you can come back with more evidence. So no, I would choose not to.
He could have put a temporary order in. Allowed presentation of whatever. No, of course not. So can I prove that she's lying about this? No, fuck all that evidence crap.
Do that. I also, and I know that was my main focus, but I also believe that you talked with your followers about this, and that you, she testified that you had made comments about her and how you don't believe her and that she's a liar to your fan base. And I also, that is something that can be added as reasons for my decision under the harassment statute.
So you can talk about this because free speech, it would be a problem with free speech. You remember that statement before, but you addressing it because you have a large following. She herself is a limited public figure. She has TEDx talk. She's gone out. She's been featured in media. She has all this other stuff. But you're not allowed to talk about that person. She has a following. She has a platform. It's wild. And she's calling him a liar. I mean, him, again, him disputing this is known. But
ARS 2921 1A, 1 and 2. And she came to me for an award. Well, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. I think if all the...
Did you hear that? She came to me for... Well, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. So she had communication with this judge beforehand. That was there. That is beyond improper. That is something that has happened repeatedly, too. So this judge just said that she had communication. Wait, I better not say that. But he did. He said that. You heard it. Oopsie. That right there should have been a real problem. Because she came to him before this was ever heard. That should nullify this fucking decision. It's garbage.
We got were a text message from you saying, I hate you, and if you do this, I'm going to be really mad, and you're going to regret it. I mean, that could mean a lot of things.
That's not what it said, actually. It said, it didn't say, if you do this, you're going to regret it. It didn't say that at all.
I mean, I'm going to sue you, and I'm going to have attorneys, follow you to the lawful ends of the earth to the extent that the law allows. That is, that's scary, but you have the right to do. You can say it once, and if that's all you did, then I wouldn't have granted an order of protection. But here, you not only expressed your intent, but then I find that you followed through with it. And you used the means that were available to you in order to, frankly, get her to stand down and abandon these claims that you're the father of these children, or that she's... I think at some point you accept the fact that she's pregnant, but
See, he just told him, at some point you accept the fact that she's pregnant. You better, you have to. He has already accepted it. The judge accepted that as fact, that she's pregnant, right? I mean, the statements at the end of this are wild when you think about those two. Contact by her with the judge, and also the judge is saying, hey, at some point you're just going to have to accept this as reality. Well, where are we now? Huh. Crazy, isn't it?
Still, and you have the right to still say, I don't believe that this is my child. And that's going to play out in a paternity case. So I hope that answers your question. If not to your satisfaction, at least that's the best I can do. So I'm going to order that because this has been affirmed, that you please leave. One other thing. I'm making a finding that these acts that I just found had occurred caused, I believe that it caused the plaintiff to feel
annoyed.
Seriously alarmed, annoyed, humiliated, and mentally distressed. And in fact, so that's it made her feel that way as a subjective matter. And that it would have caused a reasonable person to feel the same way under the circumstances. So, I focused on his intent, her intent. I think I've completely given every reason that I can think of. And of course, anything else that's supported by the record is important. Now, please, everybody going forward, use your legal rights, use the legal pathways that are available to protect you. And I wish both of you the best. I appreciate your patience with me today. And so please leave separately so there are no hassles out in the parking lot or anything, okay? That's it. Where's what?
Your Honor, now that my legal services have come to an end in this particular matter, I'd like to make an oral motion to withdraw.
Granted.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. So who's going to leave first? And does anybody want an escort to their vehicle? Each of you have.
So he wants out of there. He's like, I'm out of here. I'm out of this case. Oh, okay.
Offering you that, not me, it'll be an officer.
Yeah.
You can have one.
I would just like to go first.
Sure. Is that okay? No. All right. Do either one of you want an escort to your vehicle? No. No? Okay. All right, then you're good. All right, good luck to both of you. I hope this eventually blows over for both of you. Good luck.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, I'll do that now. Yeah, just bring in the dismissal. I'll do it now before we sign off. I could use a drink of water now. Oh, you're good. Yes, thank you.
I'm watching Clayton here, man. I mean, that's so much. It picked up the zipper as wah wah. That's so insulting. Damn subtitles. Subtitles are like fucking subtitles. I mean, seriously, Clayton. I feel bad for him. I knowing what we've seen so far from this case, and seeing how that played out again. I mean, the idea that you can't even speak up for yourself, and the fact that again he was like, "Hey, I'm not going to let you get away with this like so many other people have." That's apparently wrong. I just. All right, I'm going to hit the rest of Super Chats. I'm going to hit those. We'll be done. We went longer than I thought we did. We were like 3.5 hours. Heather, thanks for the 5. When my lifelong friend found her husband was cheating, I messaged her this. Where and when do we lynch him? I'll bring the rope. Not seriously. Yeah, of course. I mean, it's... people are blowing off steam and stuff. I mean, I realize there are crazy people out there, of course. But... you're not communicating that with that person. I mean, it's just so messed up. Smee, thanks. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to Tugs Thugs. Thank you. Appreciate you. Tracy, thanks for the 5. Can you explain how this sample, what the sample is? I'm so confused. So that was about the fetal DNA, about the tests that, again, paternity. Well, we're looking at this. There is little to no fetal DNA here. We need another sample. And this continued to happen. This has been the thing when you've had something, as you go from p-tests to concrete, undeniable testing. P-test, easily, you can go in and they can give you either false positives, you can manipulate that. There's so many different things that can determine that. As you get into more concrete testing, though, you'll notice there isn't any. It's self-reported items. There aren't the items you have this expectation of having. So that's where you're going with. It's the... And this didn't just happen once, by the way. That test didn't just happen once. Lefant, thanks for the 2. Congrats on your pregnancy, YouTube Brego man. I know, man. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, like I said, any of you that are out there that deny my babies, right there, if you deny my babies, you are making me annoyed, angry. What was the other? You make me want to flip my waffle? No, wait, that's not it. I mean, Heather, thanks for the 5. A girl from high school faked her pregnancy past the baby shower. She was obsessed with her boyfriend. He lost his father young. He was so happy. I mean, there are people that do all kinds of just whacked out things, and it's torment for the other person. It's either torment because you lied to them, or it's torment because, there's stalking. I mean, there's so many reasons that it could be. It's just so messed up. Sandra, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships, too. Thank you. Love gifted memberships. Thank you for that. Julie, thanks for 5. She said he was extremely high. So is admitting that she took advantage of him. That's true. That's true. Could he give consent? That is actually a very good point there. So if she's admitting that he is extremely high, at what point could he no longer give consent? And when she said that he ARPed her, actually, like I say, you know, with that, if he is unable to give consent, even though he seems to be giving consent, could he ever really do that? Huh? That is a very, very valid point, actually. That is a very valid point. Lauren, thanks for the 10. I like that. Lauren, thanks for the 10. If she was pregnant, we know she would have posted, printed, published, podcast, screen proof to anyone that would give her the time. Yeah, indeed. The fact that we still have questions is the proof she's a liar. And she would have, you know, again, it's not just a question of, if you have babies past a certain point and your doctor is not, you know, doing tests, they're opening themselves up for litigation, because they're not just not looking after the baby. They're not looking after you or the baby. You know, they're supposed to do all kinds of testing. They'd be failing on every level possible. Tracy, thanks for the 5. I'm still carrying baby weight from my last child. He's 24. Yeah, I'm carrying baby weight from my last children, and I didn't even have them. You know, that's what happened. This is transferred baby weight. That's what it is. Damn it. Was a Zoo? Thanks for the 2. Man, I've got some rhyme. Laura N, thanks for the 10. Zoo, thanks for the 2. Give a voice to the victims. Indeed, that's what laws are supposed to be about. They're supposed to, you know, and again, this stuff, the problem that this has is when people want to get out there and say, nobody wants to believe victims, don't blame the people that are skeptical. I mean, again, you know, if people are asking, I don't think there's any reason not to be empathetic towards people that are just making claims. The problem is when people point a finger. You know, you want some type of proof there. Understandably, you want proof. And the reason that happens, you point it in the right direction. You don't point it at the people that have problems listening and believing, because you look at the people that lied so much. It's good. Rewrite, thanks for 2. So he lost one of the lenses from his bifocals. Is that the problem? Is that why he was going sideways there? Emma, thanks for 2. This judge makes me mad. He needs to retire ASAP. Yet that annoyed me. Again, people need to understand the way the internet works. And again, nicety. The reason I say people are not obligated to nicety isn't to say that people should be assholes and do whatever. But I mean, you got to remember, first of all, people like Gringus, they defended some of the scumbaggiest people in line. You look at the sites that he's known for defending. But then, you know, questioning is somehow a bridge too far. It's fascinating to me. It's crazy. Heather, thanks for doing this. Judge Biden need to be at Green Acres. Green Acres is the place to be. Cindy, thanks for the 5. Maybe it has something to do with private combo she had with the judge. Well, that right there, that should have been disclosed. The judge shouldn't have just been, oops, I don't need to bring that up. I mean, that's a real problem. That should never have happened. And it should have been disclosed. Should have been disclosed right away. Julie, thanks for the 10 there. Douche Canoe defended a website, oh, there we go, full of people harassing and posting revenge. We're going to say corn, making that very corn. Because it wasn't the website owner posting it, but he'll say that Clayton's fault for Instagram followers commenting. Indeed, it's fascinating. Like I said, there's no beliefs or moral or principle guiding so many lawyers. There are lawyers I like. That's one thing I like about quote unquote law too. I like the fact that I've met lawyers that I don't hate every lawyer out there, but that doesn't, I mean, there's so many lawyers that have reaffirmed the fact that, there's so many scumbaggy ones. Christina, thanks for the 5. Hey, Tug. Yeah, I got Megan's text there too. I appreciate that. Also, what the hell is wrong with this judge? Does he even have all of his marbles? How's he not catching this? I mean, again, like I was saying, many of these judges, they have no idea how technology works. They have no idea how, and even when he was presented with items, you saw how confused he got about the idea of a YouTube video. How do you know a YouTube video has been there for so long? Well, it says at the bottom it's been there for 6 years. Well, how do you know she posted? No, it's a random, I mean, it wasn't even complicated. Emma, thanks for the 2. What do you think she offered the judge? I actually think she offered the judge a very, like a pity party. Just being real. You've seen the allegations that she's made to judges before. We've seen some of those letters. So being truthful about it, I think there is an answer to that for sure. Chris, thanks for the 5. I heard someone put Laura's face on the cover of If I Did It. Oh man, the OJ one. Apparently on Dave's Discord Arts and Crafts channel. I don't know though if I did it. By the way, just a note, that is such a messed up book. If any of you, if you really want to know if OJ did it or not, read that book. That will tell you 100% he did it. He absolutely did. He answered every question, even if you watch the trial and you were like, you can see the problems in there. And you have jurors that say, well, the reason we came to this decision, it wasn't because of OJ, it's because of all the racial components that were going on at the time. There's a powder keg that was ready to go off. But even if you still question all of that, I know this isn't our topic here, but If I Did It is a confession. It is crazy. Because he tells you things like what happened to the clothes. He burned them. He tells you about how he snuck in, how he got rid of stuff. I read it a long time ago. I haven't read it in a while. I have a copy of that book, though. In that book, it's crazy that book exists. It is crazy. Evil, Fall. Thanks for the 24 months there. Hey there. Fun times. Fun times indeed. Those are crazy times is what this one is. This is crazy times indeed. Chester's Corner. Thanks for the 5 there. How much are parents contributed to this judge? I know as far as lawsuits and stuff, though, I mean, I'd say the underwriting there, it's just, looking at this stuff is so wild, so bizarre. It's so frustrating. I'm sure most of you feel the same way I do when you watch that. You feel anger about it. It's because, again, that's why these cases are important. We don't choose to spend however long we pick these up just because, oh man, look at the sideshow. No, these are people's lives. They have a point. Cases like this have a point. And, you look at enough of them. You think, man, how much better would it be societally if people actually did have some legal ramification for what they do out there? How much better would that be? How much more would justice be served? The true Me Too is saying that this could happen to anyone. It happened to everyone. It's supposed to represent all victims. It wasn't supposed to create more victims. That's the real hypocrisy in it. And Laura, thanks for 17 months. Hey, thank you so much for covering this, Tug. # Justice for Clayton. Yeah, indeed. Again, I props to Megan for introducing me to that. I mean, it's been something. And again, I thought that this hearing, I typically will not do a live stream this long anymore. I try not to anymore. I try to keep them about 2 hours. But the other night, like I said, after losing, out to, well, I really wanted to get this in one shot. But anyway, I'm going to call it here. This has been a long live stream, but it's a good one. I think it was very important. I think I'm going to song us out. Let me find me a song here. What do I want to listen to? I think we'll do the Wave Maker. I think that one sounds fun. All right, I'm going to song us out. Appreciate you, folks.
An army of one. Peace up, walk by, verbal clips, and they done. Yeah, stronger than the tide. I'm the wave maker. When it comes to false accusers, I'm the claim breaker. They wanna rack me up. When it comes to false accusers, I'm the claim breaker. They wanna wreck me, but I'm not backing down. Rolling through their hoods, bumping my own sound. Monetize the haters, raining ice and platinum grills. Pure determination, dropping these mic skills. That umbrella guy, phantom in the web, crushing keyboard jockeys with all my verbal clips. You wanna break me, but still I'm standing tall. And only you want conquering them all. Conquering them all. Conquering them all. Dropping the bass, I'll make them regret the mainstream lies and all of the threats. From a media, less truth and more disease. They can't run the dog, so they cling on like fleas. That umbrella guy, no, we're not playing. They ruin lives that should be paid. They really thought they could treat us like cattle. Ownership papers and roundups like chattel. That umbrella guy, an army of one. Step up, walk by, tell them they're done. It's not enough to lie, friend. We select them, we gotta stand strong and wreck them. That umbrella guy, an army of one. Step up, walk by, tell them they're done. Enough to lie, friend. We select them, we gotta stand strong and wreck them. So you want us to separate your heart from the artist? Now that umbrella guy bumps the hardest. Man, did we learn forgive and forget? Nope, that umbrella guy ain't your pet. They wanna grind us down and keep us beneath. But this platinum grill has some iced out teeth. With verbal clips that'll do more than bite you. That umbrella guy crushing it just to spite you. We got a remind them that we're standing strong, growing by millions as we all sing along. And ignoring the media slander that they blast up. Because that umbrella guy serves no master. For sure they'll take aim at our lives, but we're like lions being swarmed on by flies. Fear is love.